Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everyone, to the Nocturnal Nerdcast, the best late night fandom stream on the East Coast, possibly the Midwest, definitely the West Coast, and most definitely the world. So, welcome. Glad to have everybody here. Joined, as usual, he's always here early. He's usually here before me. It's 3Dub. He didn't oversleep tonight. He's here. So, welcome, 3Dub. How are you doing?
Doing good.
Very good. Anything exciting going on for you this holiday weekend, or do you just hang out at home?
I honestly didn't know there was a holiday. I'm pretty locked up in the cave.
It's more of like a federal thing, like people that work in the military or people that work for banks and stuff like that. They got the day off.
That's probably why I didn't notice, because I don't work in the military.
Omega, I'm not pulling that comment up on the stream, but we do see what you said. So cool. We're going to watch the trailer. So we got a few different topics tonight. I was telling 3Dub, and he even mentioned it before I mentioned it. There's so many little things to talk about, but we're going to go over Marvel Zombies trailer. I haven't watched it yet. I haven't seen it, so this will be my reaction to it. We're going to talk about Green Lanterns. We're going to talk about Clayface. We're going to talk about, what else do I have over here on the tab? Let me open up my Google Docs. Lanterns. We're going to talk about Disney getting in trouble with YouTube. Might talk a little bit about Harry Potter. Some comic book stuff with Tom Brevoort and AI. We're going to dive back into Snoop Dogg again. We have a lot of different little things to talk about tonight, so should be a lot of fun. And then once the other guests arrive, we will discuss what the bonus topic will be at the end of the stream. I can't remember what it is, but 3Dub thinks it was comic book storylines.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it was. Not sure.
That's what
Jose, that is a very silly question. You know that if they're going to show up, most of the time, it's not at the beginning of the stream. So
they're always fashionably late.
Yeah. So, right. But they'll be here. Also, my Saturday stream, we'll talk a little bit about that. And Paigey should be coming for that stream. I will make the announcement if Paigey's going to be there. And then he won't show up and make me look like a liar. So that's typically what will happen. So Jose's like, I'm just trolling you. Okay, I guess that's fine. How was everybody doing in the chat? How was your weekend? Did anybody do fun stuff for the holiday? Go out of town? Go on vacation? Did you just chill out at home? What did you do? I basically worked all weekend. And then when I had my day off, which was yesterday, we ended up having a bunch of stuff go on with family and things like that. And so I was unable to be here in time to start the stream. So I thought it was better to do it tonight so that way we could just start at normal time. Otherwise, we would have started like an hour and a half later, and I think that would have been too late to actually start the stream. So that's why I wanted to wait till today. Plus, oh, yeah, we're going to talk about Peacemaker as well. I forgot about that. We'll talk a little bit about Peacemaker episode 2, season 2, episode 2. Speaking of Darren has arrived in the building. And good to have him here with us. Do I have my Peacemaker notes over here? I do. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, how are you doing, Darren? How was your weekend? Anything exciting happen?
It was okay. Holiday weekend at work is never like my favorite, but it is what it is.
So Sun Dawn Studio. I need to add like an actual graphic for this because this is just a generic one here. Subscribe. Thank you so much for subscribing. I do appreciate it. Also, if you're looking to join Discord, so I don't have to remember to post it every 30 minutes in the chat, it is pinned at the top of both chats. So whether you're watching on Debunks or Reloaded, you can click over there, come into the Discord, join us, drop some fun factoids, any kind of stuff you want us to talk about. The community channels are pretty active. General tab, not so much, but everything else is pretty active. So come on over and check it out. I know general is boring. People don't know how to post in general. So they're in all the different little sections over there, but I do appreciate it. Also, let me share my referral link. I know this doesn't do much, but I always feel like if I don't do it, it'll be the one time people are like, darn it, I could have got a discount on StreamYard for the year or something. But StreamYard's actually, this is weird. I was watching.
They're doing a lot.
Yeah, I was watching today because they updated something else. I don't remember what it was, but they changed something like the other day. Anyway, I was watching like a sports stream, like an actual legitimate ESPN2, I think, stream or something. And they were using StreamYard. And I'm like, this company is like
They're doing a lot
killing
this
it.
year.
Yeah, it's big for them. Plus, I have to give them a shout out though. We haven't had a knock on glass because this isn't wood. There hasn't been too many issues with it over the last couple months, and they are doing a lot of updates and stuff like that. And the tier that I'm on, which is like the mid tier, because I think there's like the free tier, the mid tier, and like the super expensive one that's like, I think it's like $400 a month or something. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
That's for people that do like big group meetings and things like that. On the tier that I'm on, they actually offer a lot of stuff. There's not, the only thing that we don't really get is different text for like your names and stuff. I don't really care about that, but for some people, they like that kind of customization. So I'm pretty happy with them. They've had some issues with like connections to servers and stuff like that, but overall the functionality has been really good. I've actually been playing around with the scenes section over here on the left side of the screen. I'm not going to be using it tonight, but I've already been setting it up for like videos and stuff like that. So anyway, pretty cool stuff. Lone Wolf says, my calf is hurting now, so rough week for me. Sorry to hear that. Hey, what's up, Naruto? Keyblade Master Jeffrey, this is for Darren. I forgot to do this today. Oh, I don't know what that is. I was going to say, yeah, I'm completely lost on that one. So I posted a video. When did I post it? Was it today? I think it might have been today. Earlier, which by the way, I'm doing daily videos now on the channel. So you guys were saying do more like regular daily content. So that's what I'm doing. And you guys are showing up. I'm seeing some good numbers on my videos for coming back to that. So thank you guys so much for supporting that. If you haven't been doing that, please make sure you hit notifications so you get those videos. But I talked a little bit about Disney being the most profitable company of the summer. And a lot of people were not happy that I even brought it up. Let me share the tab here. I saw some people commenting like, you say box office doesn't matter and blah, 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 or whatever. Well, it doesn't matter in the context of quality. Like I've always said that the box office doesn't determine like the quality of the thing. The box office is something that the studio looks at to determine, whether or not they're going to continue to do something. So this is all good news, I think, when you look at the landscape. But there were a lot of negative comments down below, just not making a lot of sense, honestly. There was, of course, people that were giving some legitimate criticisms. But my thing is, when we're talking about something like this is just a fact. There's no, like, I'm not making up numbers or shilling for Disney. I'm just talking about the fact that Disney was the number one summer studio. I don't know. And they classify summer from May to August. That is the summer season. So they were the number one. We can scroll through here and see, like, they talk about each studio here. Let's go through each studio because I think that's kind of interesting. Where's it at here? Whoops. Hold on. Wait, did it skip that one? No. Okay. Well, it starts with Universal. I didn't remember Universal being the first one. All right. Well, we'll start here. While most of the studios saw some gains that were flat compared to last summer, Warner Brothers hit the jackpot over the May Labor Day period, up fivefold over summer 2024, which, by the way, Warner Brothers is the number one studio this year. Like, total for the year.
Right.
They're just not number one for the summer. And they're I think I have the numbers here. They're only slightly ahead of Disney here in terms of sales. With 980.4 million in the number 2 spot, hands down the biggest gain by any motion picture studio this summer. That's with a supply of originals like Apple's F1 and New Line's Zach Greger title Weapons, which, by the way, Weapons is still doing extremely well in the box office. The reboot of DC Studios' Superman, a horror sequel a generation was craving, and Final Destination Bloodlines, the highest grossing title in the franchise, with 301 million worldwide. Warner's doing so well this year that even if Paul Thomas Anderson's one battle after another buckles at the box office against his 140 million price tag, the studio will still be in the black by year end in its ROI, and that's what counts most, which is return on investment. And I've been saying this for a while now. I'm glad that the outlets are now using ROI. I remember for a while they weren't using this, and this was a really important thing because at the end of the day, it's not about how much they actually make. It's about how much the studio profits from this so they can pay their investors back. Warner's doing so great this year, it could afford to postpone a highly anticipated tentpole Mortal Kombat 2 to next May in the same mid-month slot where it had Bloodlines. That's a good... Let's jump away for a second and talk about this. So Mortal Kombat 2 will now rumble next summer. Warner Brothers and New Line's Mortal Kombat 2 will now fight toward the start of next summer on May 15th, 2026, instead of October 24th this year. So we're not going to read too much. It's not a lot here. Honestly, we just talked about the move, but a lot of people were looking forward to this movie. Yeah. Ronan has arrived. What's up, Ronan?
Ooh, nice haircut, buddy.
I was going to say, yeah, nice look.
We're like Terminator.
A lot of people were looking forward to this, and they just shifted. I tried to find out if there was any real reason, because they said they just don't want to compete with other things in the box office, but I don't buy that. There's something else going on, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, like that statement to me makes zero. Because, like, okay, what's in October this year? You have Tron, which I guess isn't like the most profitable franchise. Like, maybe it's going to do okay, but comparatively to Mortal Kombat's easily the bigger brand. And then what you have Black Phone 2, which is going to do well regardless, but completely different demographic. I think Mortal Kombat would have been leading October and early November. I think it would have done incredible. Maybe not incredible, but I think it would have done.
Well, you're not the only person. I've seen other people saying this as well. Other people that do film analysts have said the same thing. They don't understand this move.
Right. And, like, you know what? Maybe they're a little scared. I was like, okay, fair enough. Move it to maybe somewhere that's less populated. We're moving it to May. A month. This comes out the week before the first Star Wars movie in 7 years with an adorable little plushy character that they can advertise. What are you doing?
Right.
That is probably the worst date you could have picked. Pick literally any date this year, and it's probably better than that date. That's so... I don't get it. I don't understand it. I really don't.
I wish Jake were here now, because I know he said last stream that this was one of his most anticipated movies this year. And yeah. I wanted to wait a little bit to like have him jump in, but I guess we did Warner Brothers first. But I have a feeling this movie is actually going to be really good. I don't know what it is, but something about me is just telling me this is going to be a good movie. And to be honest, why would you skip a time of year where there's not a lot of competition for this type of film and drop it into summer season next year where there's already a ton of movies coming out? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
And Halloween, it's up its alley. Like, you can use that as part of your marketing bit of, like, you know, I don't know. It's weird. Like, they could right now, they could have, you know, who knows if I would have done this, but they could have, you know, taken the whole thing of like, oh my gosh, some of the Avengers actors are fighting on set and do this. And no, fuck this. Mortal Kombat 2, they did have some arguments on set, and they're gonna go for it, you know, real life Mortal Kombat on set and like use that as your marketing now. And it's like,
Omega has arrived. Did you jump in because of Mortal Kombat, or were you coming in anyway?
I was coming in anyway. Like I said, I was eating, so I ain't want to.
And it's so late too. It came out in like a month. Like, that typically doesn't happen very often, which makes me think something happened.
I was gonna, okay. So that's the next step. Is I wanted to ask: do we think something? Because we know that it's not competition. That's a lie. There's no way that's real. So what is the real reason? Are they worried about not having anything early next summer? Is that what it is? Or is there something that happened with the production of the movie that now requires them to change something? Like, are we going to see some sort of like additional filming happening or something like that between now and next summer? Because they would have time if they wanted to do it now by postponing it.
Well, I have a serious answer and I have a joke answer.
Okay, well, go for it.
The serious answer is, honestly, I have no idea. The joke answer is what is the character that you're showing right there. It got such a huge backlash from the Chuds that they went back and started.
Are they going to go in and add hair? Because that's what everybody's complaining about, her not having hair. You think that's what it might be? Like, Ronan shaking his head. You don't agree with that one? You don't think that's what it is?
No, I'm totally bullshit. It's total BS, but it's like, who knows?
It's total BS, but it's sadly stuff like that is believable. Like, if we live in a world where like people like start blinking at Sonic's design and then they, you know, redesign them. We live in a very overreactive era. And so sadly, I could see that happening. I could also see, you know, this having test screenings early on and it's not working, and they need time to like reshoot stuff and whatnot. Again, that's very conspiracy theory, if you will, but like, I've seen movies early on, and then when they do come out, I'm like, well, that wasn't what I saw, or that's not what when I saw a while back. So like, but again, like Darren said, you really want to do this right before Mandalorian and Grogu happens. It's like, isn't that by the time Sunday ends for that weekend that it comes out, nobody is gonna want to go see this movie, and everybody's gonna just start prepping their work for Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, like, it's also a 7-month gap. 7 months is a long time. I could even be like, okay,
you could film an entirely new movie in 7 months. You could film an entirely new movie in 7 months if you wanted.
You could do this as a Valentine's Day thing and be like, oh, for the during the time of with loved ones, don't try to kill each other.
Kombat like February, March even, I could be like, okay, fair enough, whatever.
Yeah.
I remember, I'll never forget when Baby Driver was coming out back in 2015 or 2016, whenever it was. And I remember this was the first time I had seen as a cinephile that a movie the studio was confident on its movie that they had a release date, and then they pushed it upward.
Right.
So like people liked it. People who've seen it, they're so good. The response to the trailer is so good that they pushed it up.
Yeah.
And it got raving reviews, and it's one of Edgar Wright's favorite films. I think my favorite film of it.
So is this true? They aren't getting a third film? Is that true?
There's been no confirmation of any of that.
I don't know. Like, maybe it is. I'm not sure. Let's look at some super chats before we move on here. Stagger Forward, the $4.99 super chat. Thank you for contributing. I do appreciate it. By the way, we got goals on both channels. We're doing 10 of any tier on Reloaded and 5 of any tier on Debunked. So thank you guys for your support. I'm sure you heard about the possible casting of Brendan Skillner as Batman. Is it Skellner or Skillner? I don't know. Do you think he could be good for the role? I mean, should I do like my honest hot take, or should I be more like nice about it? Because I don't think he's a bad actor. And the little bits of things I've seen him in, he's fine. But he's generic white guy number 5 to me. Like he doesn't have enough swag to like. I want somebody that's bringing something to the character that makes me go, damn, yeah, that's a playboy. That's somebody who fucks. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm thinking of when I think of Bruce Wayne. And I don't get that from him because this guy looks too blue collar to me. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that doesn't give me the Bruce Wayne like silver spoon vibe, which is what we're supposed to get from that character.
So I've seen the first season in 1923. I need to get to season 2. From what I saw of 1923, I can kind of see him as Bruce Wayne / Batman because I'm not gonna get into why I feel that, but let's just say that the character he plays in that one.
That's the one that James Gunn keeps referencing to, right? Is the 1923?
Yes. Because in that one he plays a Dutton. Dutton, for those who don't know, is the big family over these shows, Yellowstone, T3, the whole shebang. He plays a member of the Dutton family, and he's in a unique spot with the family. And seeing where he went through in season 1, I was like, "Ooh, I'm keeping an eye on him in future projects to see where he's at." I haven't seen that one movie, the one with the phone and the date tower, or whatever it was called. I haven't seen that movie yet, but from what I saw of 1923, I'm like, I'm a fan, and I can see that going that way. Thing is before this happened, people were just telling Alan Richardson. I'm like, God damn it, I can see Alan Richardson because he looks bulky and he looks like he would have a kid at that point.
Yeah, Alan's got the physical type for it. Like he's the one that definitely has the physical type. I don't know if that's enough though to pull off the character. Look, my thing is, and I think everybody would agree on this. I don't think this is a hot take, but you have actors that have played Batman that are really good with Bruce Wayne and they're really good with Batman, but they're not always good with both characters. Is that fair? Mm-hmm. I'm not saying everybody. I'm saying a lot of them, right? So, dog cam. There we go.
Oh, look at the dog.
Cuteness overload. Now we're about to get 1,000 viewers because of that. Like some people would argue that this actor played Bruce Wayne perfectly, but I didn't like his Batman, or I liked his Batman, I didn't like his Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean? Like I've heard the arguments about, with the Nolan Batman, with the Keaton as Batman. Like I've heard takes on all of these different franchises over the years. And so for me personally, I don't have I think I've said this before. Maybe I don't know if I've said it with everybody that's in the panel now, but I'm not a big fan casting person. Like, it's not something that I sit around and do typically. I like to wait and see who the director or the showrunner or whatever wants, who they think they see in that role, and then I'll make my opinion on their picks. But I don't like to fan cast too much because I feel like that sort of sets up an expectation, and that can ruin something for me if I don't get the person that I want in that role. So I don't typically fan cast, but I see all of them. Like, I know they all exist. It's just not something that I typically do. But thank you for the super chat.
I try not to, but it's fun. And at the very least, I try not to do videos about it. To be like, this is why I think this is the best person to play it. Or, I think all of us know that, like, when they were saying, all right, who are they going to get? Supergirl.
Right.
I think for a lot of them, we're like, get Millie. Like, for what they're doing with Women of Tomorrow and that book and that story and that atmosphere, Millie can do it. Why not?
Yeah.
And then they got her, and I was like, oh, shit. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I remember how fun it was when we knew, like, the 4 people that were possibly going to play Superman and 4 people that were going to play Lois Lane, and we're, like, trying to figure out which one was the best choice on that. That was a lot of fun, too.
I think the best version of that we ever had was Sholo as Blue Beetle, because everyone was like,
no, that
he
was
should
perfect.
be Blue Beetle, and then he was instantly. We're like, holy shit, all 100%. Right, that's awesome.
Yeah. We got a super chat. This is from the Debunks channel. Thank you so much. We only need 5 super chats over there, and we are 1 out of 5 now. The KO guy here says $5 F&T, which is Friday Night Tights. Most of the people on the panel don't know, so I will deal with this here. The most fragile echo chamber on YouTube. I told Gary, which is Nerdrotic, to stop bringing up 2020, but his fan base crashed out on me. They're addicted to being losers. Let me tell you why a lot of these channels, like the ones that harp on like Brie Larson and all that, why they stick to 2020, because that was when everybody was stuck at home, and that's when everybody started watching their content. And so everybody that was miserable wanted to be miserable together, and so they all did misery kumbaya in little panels with these guys. And so they always reminisce about this. It's like they go around and they do these like circle jerk sessions over like 2020, and it's like Goon City for losers. That's what it is. That's really what the situation is. But thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. We have a $5 super chat on Reloaded from Sheldor here with a $5 Canadian super chat. A bit random, but I'm happy with DC making a comeback. Me too. I'm ecstatic about it. I can confidently say I'm excited for the next 10 years of the DCU. Hope Lanterns is good. This is the energy that we've been waiting for with DC that we never had with the, like, there were DCEU films that I was excited for, but as a whole universe, I was not. So, what do you guys think? I'm going to give you guys a chance to talk about the super chat because I feel like this is a good time to like get everybody's take on this. I have to say I feel good about a community that's actually excited about this universe again. Like for me personally,
like y'all for me, I've even tried to ask the man directly, James, be like, okay, everyone wants to know about fucking Batman Part 2. I don't care about that. Let Matt Reeves do his thing. Why not? Let's talk about everything else that you haven't talked about yet. I'm like, where's Animal Man? Where's the question? Where's the JSA? I'm so eager to know, and I feel like more than ever, those characters and those teams I brought up, they have a chance more than ever to be put into live action or animation in a shared universe.
Yeah.
And, I want to know, is there plans to potentially do TV movies? Is there plans to do scripted podcasts that are canon in this universe? That not everything has to be a movie or a TV show. Right now, it's fun. It's fun. Granted, a lot of what was promoted to be like, this is what we're going to do. Only 4 of that stuff right now is fully in the can. A lot of the other stuff is still, we're still working on it. It's in the back burner and whatnot. So I think by the time we get through Supergirls and Lanterns, you're like, okay, out of everything that you promoted in that one chapter 1 Gods and Monsters video, okay, this is what's only been coming out this far. And now we're getting Clayface as well. That's shooting right now. And there's some cool stuff happening that I've seen photos, and I'm like, yo, that's a cool detail.
Yeah.
But like I am, and I've told this to Darren about it now, that like I am eager to potentially start doing like making my own DC podcast, or even doing just a series of videos.
Yeah.
Just saying like, okay, while everybody's working on, like, everyone wants to know, where's Batman? Where's Batman? I'm like, no. we'll get to Batman when we get to Batman. What about these people? What about this city? What about this location? What about this storyline? Will we get that? Will we ever get that? TBD. And I love that synergy right now.
Yeah. By the way, welcome Jake arriving into the
Jake
stream.
Sully.
Appreciate it.
So,
Nice cover.
Anybody else have any thoughts on this?
What are we looking at?
This. Like, I am through and through a Marvel
super chat.
fanboy. However, I do love a lot of DC stuff. So it's like the main reason, like especially in the past, like I always crapped on DC because, well, mostly because of the movies. It's like the movies were doing terrible, but the animation was on point. Now we're starting to see, most of it. But now we're starting to see more of their DC live actions starting to be a lot better. And so I'm like, good. We need the competition. Hell, actually, I want to see Image Comics get some live action stuff up in here. So I'm all for everything.
Yeah. Let's give Spawn another shot.
Yeah.
I've never been, except for now, obviously, excited for the future of DC, and in terms of the mainline movies. I mean, for years it was, the like DC stuff, or I'm sorry, the like TV stuff that was holding it together like fucking glue. And
the Arrowverse, shout out to the Arrowverse.
It was just like, the movie's shit right now, but at least we got fucking season 7 of The Flash, I guess. I don't know,
That's not the best example.
Oliver Queen.
But no, like I think my take after Superman was like, despite how you feel about that movie, if you like it, if you don't, there was this kind of like aura in the air that was like, oh, this feels nice to have a path forward, something new, something different, something we can look forward to.
All new, all different?
Yeah.
All new, all different.
People are unanimously excited about DC again, and that hasn't happened in a while.
Yeah.
No, it hasn't.
Maybe you didn't like Superman, but guess what? Supergirl's next year, and Peacemaker's right now, and we're working on Wonder Woman.
And there's some Clayface pictures too. There's some
something for everybody.
guys.
And we want to I think more than ever, like the studio behind these movies and shows are simultaneously trying to promote their books. Like that's something that give people might give James crap, and they might give crap about Peacemaker and Superman. Or why would you start your DC universe with an animation show called Creature Commander? Why would you do that? Like people will give them crap, but also say this that I've never seen somebody who's trying to do a big narrative that isn't beholden to a style or to a big villain, and at the same time they're promoting the books of said characters with their marketing.
Right.
Anytime they podcast, anytime they do an interview, like. I give kudos to them because, like, more than ever now, I'm interested in reading books, not just for reading books, but also research. Like, okay, you know what? I've talked to me and Jake and Darren have talked about the Human Target. Let me actually go read the whole run of Tom King's Human Target. Let me go finally go pick up a Wildcat book and be like, okay, why the hell does Jake love him so much? And, let's see. Okay, Darren has been talking about the Arrowverse for a long time. All right, let me go check out the Arrowverse. Let me go pick up a good run of Green Arrow.
Of Ben 10. Oh, sorry. Never mind.
Like, I'm eager to just dive into it a lot.
That's good. Well, thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. We have another one here. Hyperion with a $2 super chat. Supergirl has been moved up to May 26th, by the way. Yeah, I made a video on this and we talked about it. Awesome. No, we didn't talk about it here. I did make a video on it.
That's true.
Is it official yet? Because I haven't seen any official source for that.
I don't know if they're saying it out loud yet, but I've seen a lot of places reporting on it. So I'm gonna just.
I know it's a rumor, but I haven't seen it.
My thing about it is that already. I looked at it in my video. I looked at next year, and it's going to be another shit show. It's another shit show with stuff that's coming out. I mean, first of all, we have kids' movies piled on top of each other. So good luck. R.I.P. to all the children's movies that are coming out next year.
You just got Mortal Kombat thrown into the month with Star Wars, so that's kind of fucked now.
Yeah, we just.
Yes. Yeah. And if this is true about Supergirl, also Supergirl.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the same month. Oh, shit.
But Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Darren.
Sorry. I was just going to say, if this is the case, obviously you have Star Wars the week before, you have Mortal Kombat a couple weeks before that, and then the following weeks you have movies like Minions 3 and Toy Story 5.
Yep.
That's going to fuck Supergirl.
And Supergirl is in the mix of that. The only good news is that Supergirl and Spider-Man are spaced out. That's good. So those movies are a month apart. But but all of it's still dogpiled by children's films. And we know that that is what is driving the box office a lot right now. So it's just, I'm worried. Look, I guess I shouldn't be because Superman ended up doing really well, but you are fucking up your own money because you could make more money on these movies if you did not do this. Like, give them a little breathing room. Give them a little oxygen. Put an oxygen tank on them before you put them out in theaters. Because, it's seriously crazy to me the way they're doing this. It just is.
Yeah.
I could see their argument if they wanted to put Mortal Kombat into May and there wasn't hardly anything slated for May.
Right.
But with October, we were a month and a half away from it, and let's be honest, October was a dead month, and nobody was worried.
We talked about that. Yeah, we talked about that.
No one cares about Tron.
No one was worried that Mortal Kombat was going to get its legs cut off by Tron and Black Phone. No one was worried about that. But as soon as you throw it in May, it's like, okay, Star Wars, if it's to be believed, Supergirl, Minions right around there, it's like, okay, you're just creating a June 2023 situation all over again, where you had Transformers, Across the Spider-Verse, The Flash, all these things trying to fight for everyone's money, and it's going to be a cluster.
All right, well, look at this. Even if we don't, say for example, Supergirl doesn't change. Let's look at the release schedule for next summer. Because when I tell you it is bonkers, I'm not kidding you, okay? So this is the schedule for next summer. Scary Movie 6 and a new Steven Spielberg movie come out on the 12th. Then on the 19th, it's Toy Story 5. Then on the 26th, if it hasn't moved, is Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Then on the 1st, which is a Wednesday, it's a day early, we have Mega Minions. And then we have the week later, Moana live action. Then a week later, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. Mm-hmm. Then a week after that, we have Evil Dead and the Paw Patrol movie. And then the week after that, we have Spider-Man Brand New Day. It's another shit show next year. It's another shit show.
And that's for 2 months straight.
Paw Patrol for real?
Yeah.
That's for almost 2 whole months.
I never see that.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and I haven't said much because I don't want to get into box office debates this early on, right? But I think Supergirl needs to pivot hard to another sector of the year. I've even argued maybe you gear towards maybe early 2026 instead. Maybe you try and aim for the spring area where it's a little less crowded. But I get they want the box office season. I know they want the summer fling thing going on, but when you look at this lineup, it is tough.
Well, that's going to be so many tickets too. People aren't going to want to pay for that much.
My pitch would have been okay, let's just do fall instead. Because I could actually see Supergirl.
Where's August?
Thanksgiving.
Where's August at? August and September get left in the dust every year.
Every time.
Yeah, but I get that though.
That's the
it's
case
back
right
to school, and it's
but you could shift some of the non-kid movies out of the summer season. You could put them into the fall.
I can only think that maybe late May or in August would work for Supergirl to get some time, because if it's late May, that gives her 2 weeks before Spielberg's new movie, and give them the time to get as much as you can out. Now with June 26th, that's the whole weekend to herself. But then next week is when you start kicking in Minions and Shiver and Moana, all that stuff. It's just
July falls right around then too. So it's are people going to be doubling up on some of these for July 4th, or are they not going to be seeing any? You got to factor.
And then if it moves to May, we have to deal with Mandalorian and Grogu and what did you say? Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Mortal Kombat now, which that's having to fight Mando and Grogu now because
and possibly Supergirl.
Here's why it's so crowded. It looks good to investors.
Yeah,
of course we're going to have our movie in the middle of summer. Why would we have it in August and September at the end of summer? That's
right.
No,
let me say this: if I were a studio right now, I would look at these children movies and I would be shaking in my fucking shoes, because we already saw that this past year those were the movies that made the most money, were the kids movies and the family movies. If you are not putting out one of those movies, you don't want to go up against those films. I feel like we're in kids era at theaters right now, and anything else, you can do good with other stuff, but I don't think you want to go up against it. And here's the thing, a lot of these kids movies, I can almost guarantee you, will be on digital within 30 days of coming out in theaters.
Yeah, looking at it now, I think right now as it is, I think that's the best case scenario for Supergirl, because I don't want her near the Odyssey or a Brand New Day, because now it's gonna be another cluster.
That's Tom Holland versus Tom Holland right there. That's
and again, I wouldn't even want her to be either before or right after Mando, because if word of mouth is good for Mandalorian and Grogu, forget about it.
And Supergirl is up against a Star Wars movie in theaters for the first time in like 5 years.
Right.
More than that, it's going to be 7 years.
Yeah.
And it's back in May, where it was usually Star Wars is like month to like
May the Force Star Wars Day. Yeah.
And when the movies would come out.
What's funny is when you get around to things like the sequels and beyond, only with Solo did they release one around the May time, and that's the one that didn't do good financially.
Right.
Because they had been sticking to those Christmas releases.
Right.
But what I just noticed with that release schedule you pulled up is, going into July, that's 3 straight Fridays in a row that I'm going to be in a theater, because Odyssey.
I'm going to be in theaters for like 3 months probably. It's crazy.
Like
I'm going to be in
Odyssey,
theaters for like 3
Evil Dead,
months.
And Spider-Man, I'm going to be seeing all those on their release days.
I need to go because my theater's not an AMC. It's a local theater. It's a restaurant, so it's like one of those like full bar type place. I love it. I will go there a million times more than any of the big theaters because it's just a much better atmosphere. They got the recliner seats. It's heated. If you want to get in there and just like curl up, the screens are good. They have they have a full bar, a full menu. Like it's fucking great. Yep. I go there all the time. It's Cinema Cafe. I think Omega, you've been there before. Probably.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. Great stuff. Anyway, I will go there.
When I've been through that area, why do I feel like I've heard of that?
Well, there's like 5 or 6 locations.
Yeah,
they're really good. So yeah.
Really
the
quickly,
one over here is
Eric.
we have some of the Cine Bistro, which it's not the same, completely different companies, but that it's very similar to like how he has like full bar, full menu, and all that.
Before you move on from the Supergirl thing, could you share my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Thing. I think this might be the best time for Supergirl. I think March might be their best fighting chance at the moment. Like March is not insane. You have Hoppers coming out, getting a bunch. You have Project Hail Mary, but there's not a lot of huge, big fighters. And I know they want that summer blockbuster, but let it come out maybe March 10th or something. It has most of the month without any huge movies, and then you have a couple of weeks in April as well.
And then get it on VOD for summer. Get it in VOD for summer.
I forgot in April they're doing another Mario movie.
Mario, that would make it slow down, but like you would still have at least a whole month where it's basically the biggest movie in theaters at the time.
Yeah,
as long as it doesn't mess with the VFX artists, because that's my only worry about pushing
that too. If it's done, you
don't want them to be stretched thin and rush out something before it's ready, because we've seen what happens when they do that.
I'm going to put a pin on that because I do have a comment about that when we get to the Clayface stuff, but remind me, Supergirl, when we get there. So we have a super chat here from Sheldor, $5 super chat from Canada. I was going to say Canada because someone said that earlier and I was like, no, it's Canada. Do you think that Mando and Grogu will be completely standalone or have some references to the show, like mention how Grogu trained with Luke? So I could be wrong here, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that I think they should leave the references as thinly connected as possible to the TV show. And if there are references that are important to the story, then it needs to be explained in the movie and not left to circumstances or understanding the show. I'm all for, look, this is a good test for me. And I think for the audience, if they are able to take these TV characters and put them in a movie that makes sense by itself in its own little adventure that doesn't require a connection to the shows, then congratulations, you have cracked the code, and that's what you need to do moving forward with any of these shows, whether it be Marvel or Star Wars or whatever, DC. That means that people will see it as long as they don't feel like they have to watch all of the seasons of the show to understand the characters. And I think that would be a really important thing. What do you guys think about this?
I honestly think they should do what Rebels did, where they have like little loose things that they address as part of the canon, things that happen across the lore, but you don't need to watch all those other things to understand it.
Same with Ahsoka.
Yeah, like those who have seen those things, they'll understand it, but the ones who haven't won't be lost. Yeah. It'll just be part of the lore.
I think the fandom and what they should do kind of split a little bit for me, where, of course, us fans are like, yeah, well, I want this reference and this thing, I want to connect to this and this and this. But this is a movie you have to market to the modern audience. You have to bend over to them, unfortunately. People need to be able to watch that Mando and Grogu trailer and be like, that looks really good. I'm really excited for that. without having seen a single episode of the show.
Right, the trailer
And
needs to be
if they're
geared
drawn
towards
in-
people that haven't watched the show. 100%.
And then if they're drawn into the movie, they'll walk out of the movie and go, "Oh, they had 3
there
seasons of a
anything else
TV
that
show.
can-
I might go
Hey,
watch that."
Yes.
That's exactly it.
Yes.
What the movie should be doing is not trying to make value off of the viewers from streaming. It should be taking people in the movies and sending them over to streaming.
Yes.
That's what it should be doing.
Yeah.
It should be the other way around. I think the Marvels made the mistake of doing the opposite, and I think that was the problem.
There's a lot of mistakes.
that-
they
We
made,
saw
but
this
we're not
with
gonna get into that.
Yeah.
We saw this with How to Train Your Dragon this year.
Yeah.
Where like all these people were watching it for the first time with this live action movie, and then there's like, wait, there's animated movies, and then there's
Yeah.
TV shows. I'm gonna now go back and watch all those for the
Yeah.
first time.
All right, we're
Yeah,
going to read through this. Oh, go ahead, sir. Ryan, go ahead.
So that's something that I've been, I wait to go last because I'm like, I'm doing a video of like, this film has to be akin to season 1 of Mando, where like nobody knew nothing at all from it, even the hardcore fans or even modern non-hardcore fans, casuals, yeah, taking in a simple story. And like the fact that it's not a big spoiler because it's all over the internet, but like Zeb is in this movie.
What?
That's a big deal. I know.
Wait, what?
That's a big deal. That's it for me. That's enough. That's enough of like, oh shit, okay, they're addressing it. They're not honing into it, and it's more like a background thing. They're like, okay, if you know who that is, you know the significance of these two characters in the same frame for a second of this movie.
Kind of like what they did in Ahsoka when Zeb showed up at the end.
Yeah, I have thoughts about Ahsoka, but like, yeah, and like again, you don't have to have a big scene to talk about. Oh yeah, I'm from this place. I'm like, just at one point they might part paths and be like, oh yeah, I need to go take care of something over here. I'll see you later, and like that's it. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. And like this again, the story has to be on its own. That like even if hardcore fans missed it, it's fine. Like that's the whole point of balancing it out now.
Yeah, you want people to fall in love with the characters they're watching in that movie. Like, you don't want them to fall in love with the idea of who those characters are. You want them to fall in love with the characters in those movies. Because think about this. We meet people every single day that have lived their lives up until the point we meet them, and we don't know anything about them, and we have to learn about them after we meet them, and then we get bits and pieces of their lives.
Right.
That's the way they should approach making these movies, is that this is how people are meeting the character for the first time, right? That's how this happens. You don't want a lot of information left out there that you're just supposed to know. Like if there's a story that you want to tell for Mando and Grogu, right, that you could tell in the show, tell it in the show. Don't make it in the movie. Make the movie a story that is just applicable to the movie that they're making. And once you do that, again, that's cracking the code, and I feel like that's a good way for them to go. So
yeah, I think we saw that with Karate Kid Legends last year. Where, like there's a little scene at the very end that was like, okay, this is for the Cobra Kai fans, but everything else was for the hardcore casual fans. No one had to know anything going into it, really.
So what we're going to do is we're going to finish this little segment here about Disney, and then we're going to move over to the MCU or the Marvel Zombies trailer that I haven't seen yet. So we're going to watch that. I don't know if everybody else has seen it yet, but I've not seen it, so it's going to be an actual reaction for me. So this is Disney, because we're talking about the summer. This past summer was a battle between Warner Brothers and Disney came out on top over the summer. Warner Brothers is winning the year, though. But it says here, Disney with 20th Century Studio and Searchlight led the seasonal heat wave in what is no surprise with the $1.02 billion buoyed by Lilo and Stitch, the Fantastic Four First Steps, and the Ho-Hum Thunderbolts. I wish they wouldn't say that, because I think Thunderbolts was incredible. But the Mouse House is down 32% from a year ago. Yeah. Keep in mind, they're down 32% and they were still number one. So that's an industry issue. Elio, Freakier Friday, unfortunately, didn't do very well for them, which I mean, to be fair, it looked bad to me in the trailer. So we saw 1.5 billion, again, 1.2 billion of that being Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out 2, which were last summer. Those two movies carried the summer. Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out 2 pretty much carried the summer season. We can poke holes in superhero movies all we want. Evident in Thunderbolts' lackluster start to a summer with the $74.3 million opening. However, DC Studios under Peter Safran and James Gunn did see a return of fortune for the comic book brand in Superman, which stateside is the highest grossing one ever at $351.75 million. And he goes on to say it's a second highest worldwide of Man of Steel. Let's see. Mission accomplished at reviving DC. I agree with this. I think this is an important thing to understand that you had a failed franchise and this movie came out and did really well with all of that baggage behind it.
Yeah.
They deserve a little bit of grace for that.
Yeah,
go ahead.
They actually got a monetary success off of something that wasn't Batman or Batman adjacent.
Yeah.
It's the only things like within those last number of years, the only things that got them big financial success post Aquaman were Joker and the Batman. And that was it.
It says here, in addition, Fantastic Four First Steps at $500 million worldwide is the highest script. By the way, it looks like it's going to make about 525 at the end.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that was kind of the number that I've been tossing around since the beginning is like 520. I said that's probably what it's going to make. So pat on the back for me being right about that one.
Did you see Liefeld getting up in his feelings about that?
Wait,
which part of it?
$300 million.
The bullshit like numbers he was throwing out for like how much it had to make and everything.
I replied to that, by the way.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Right now, Fantastic Four has beat Captain America: Winter Soldier domestically. It's beat it domestically, but obviously not internationally. So It's just a domestic number. It
was just funny. Like he pulled that number out of his ass of, hey, like, we're gonna say, this is pulled, this is done 500 million now. This is now crossed 500 million. Oh, but it's 300 million with marketing. It's like, get the fuck out of here.
I just think it's really weird that people purposely make themselves look like idiots online,
because
especially
what happened to
high profile people that work in the industry. It's weird.
I'll tell you what happened, Darren. He's butthurt after Feige ignored him at the Deadpool and Wolverine premiere.
Yeah, that's what it was.
He's been butthurt about it for a damn year.
Yeah, here's the tiniest violin in the world for that motherfucker. Like, I honestly, like, seriously, he's just been nothing but bad vibes all around. Like, I'm the kind of person, I want to be around people that are having a good time with life. I can't stand being around people that are just always negative about everything. It's like, bro, fucking do something different. Misery loves company, but I'm not misery, and I don't want your fucking company. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I'm surprised him and Bo DeMaio haven't started a club at this point.
Oh, I would. There should be a podcast.
But no, what's funny is that I find that he keeps going on and on every chance he gets to shit on Marvel whenever he has the opportunity to, all because of that premiere quote-unquote incident. I don't even know if I want to refer to it as that. And I just look at the whole thing like, dude, Feige responds to like all these people that go to these events, whether it's people that work in the industry, people that come to support the event, actors, whatever you want to say. Like, he goes out of his way to thank people in all of those categories. If he's ignoring you deliberately, it's probably something you did wrong.
Well, I mean, he's an asshole. He's been an asshole for a long time. Like, the thing about it is he's known to be tough to be around. Like, that's the thing. Dude can't even draw feet and got clowned on by Stan Lee, literally in a video that's on YouTube.
And he still on his Twitter does not name himself as the co-creator of Deadpool, just the creator. He does not name the other guy.
Yeah, of course not.
I still like. I'll look at his name, but I still can't fucking pronounce it.
It's weird because, like, again, I met him once when I eventually got to meet him. Seemed cool and all, but he was running 2 hours late to his signing. But like, you see this stuff, and I heard it's not the first time. And
maybe he drew his own feet that he was using.
It's weird because it's him and Bo DeMaio keeps putting out these new stuff and whatnot, which I'm like, God damn it, dude, you did a hell of a thing, like a while back, but like, I don't know, it's an odd thing where like most of the time these two individuals specifically, they come out with these jabs, and it was like if it was something related to Deadpool or X-Force and related, I'm like, even then I'd be like, okay, he had a big part of it, but like, I think of Liefeld, I don't think of the Fantastic Four.
He's taking blood shots at something that has nothing to do with them.
Yeah, it's weird.
Bro was a discount Todd McFarlane. He can never live beyond that. Like, that's literally what he was.
Eric, calling him a discount Todd McFarlane is being nice.
He was a discount Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Art Adams, Mark Silvestri, John Byrne. He was discount everybody.
Wow,
he's just discounted.
You crossed every T there, okay.
He's discount everybody. Mark Bagley, like all of them. But no, like I met him at a signing back in like the early to mid 2000s, and he was an asshole then. So I mean, I'm just not shocked that he's still that way now. My only thing is that has he been exiled so far from the industry that this is his only way of getting attention now is like rage baiting people on social media? Is that it?
I think he's been blackballed to that extent. Yeah.
I mean, like you could make a TikTok or a YouTube or an Instagram where you draw stuff on your stream and then you sell it to people. That's an easy way for him to make money. But guess what? He's not very good. Like his Captain America looks like like have you seen the side profile Captain America picture
Why does
with
his
the
Captain
shield?
America have big titties like that?
I don't know. His Captain America went and got a BBL in his chest. So it's like, what the fuck is happening? Like for real. And the whole issue, by the way, I've been drinking tonight. I'm sorry.
But his Captain America got a PDP placenta injection in his penis.
Exactly. Something happened for sure. But no, I mean, seriously though, Rob Liefeld is from like the era when I was collecting the most comics, which was like the 90s. Like that was my era of like buying anything and everything I could comic book related.
I still have the first appearance of both Cable and Deadpool.
Yeah, all my brothers comics at my parents' house. I gotta go over there and see if I can get those.
He was from that era where everything was extreme. Everything was like pockets and hashtag, fucking crosshatch.
His name,
shit like that.
Videos. Yeah.
Well, that's the 90s in a nutshell for you. Everything was extreme.
Right, but the thing is that his look, I will give him credit for one thing and one thing only, and that is leveling up what the New Mutants were in terms of like their visibility. He definitely did that. Yeah. But outside, look, I like the New Mutants back in the 80s better, but he leveled them up in terms of like the public's perception of what the New Mutants were. So I have to give him a little bit of credit for that. However, that is where the credit ends. He just took part in it. He was facilitating that, and that was it. That was the only thing he got. So
I'll give him credit with the Image Comics revolution. I'll give him credit that because that was a big deal with him and the others leaving Marvel and like doing their own thing. I'll give him credit that.
Maybe he's not even like, if I'm being honest, he's not even in my top 25 artists. Like he's not even there. He's not even in my top 50 maybe.
Thing, and even if you want to make the argument that he did, level them up, even if they were better before, any bit of recognition that he got them was kind of killed by the movie.
True. That's true. Look, there's a lot of artists I love. And there's some of them that are very different from each other, and I like their different styles. Rob Liefeld's style is so bad that it's like he's like the stuff that he did good. He had shout out to the inkers that had to deal with Rob Liefeld's artwork, because like I know you guys had to draw feet on everything that he did, and sometimes it was just like literally an upside down triangle. That was his foot. Yeah. Just an upside down triangle. It's like literally, or he would have like two legs that looked like they were both the left leg and the right leg. Like, come on, give me a break.
Can everybody spout out a favorite comic artist quickly?
For me, it's Art Adams, hand down. Then maybe Mark Silvestri. I'd probably put Jim Lee in there. John Burns and OG. Like Sal Buscema, John Buscema. Mignola's great. The Hellboy shit. Yeah, definitely.
The two that I can think of right off the top of my head are McFarlane and Dan Mora.
Yeah. Yeah. I've grown. I have over the years. I have grown far away from Todd McFarlane. Like looking back at his older stuff, because I feel like it's not as good as I remember it. But stuff for me like John Buscema and John Byrne and people like that, their shit just stands the test of time.
Zoe Thorogood right now.
Yeah,
George Perez.
There are certain people that there are certain people that I like overall as artists, and then certain artists that I like their specific depictions of characters. That's the thing. It's like that's their one trick pony sometimes.
Yeah, there's some people that do good at certain characters, but then you give them something like Batman and it looks awful. They're like, they can't draw Batman
style. I love his style.
It's so simple, but it's so good.
There's another guy who has a similar art style to Bruce Timm. I cannot for the life of me remember who the hell it is. I follow him on Instagram.
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. God damn, I'm forgetting his name. Frank Miller. I mean, recently
not his new stuff, not his recent stuff. The Frank Miller stuff recently, I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? But like his old stuff, yeah. His Wolverine run, iconic. The Wolverine run is absolutely iconic.
Frank Miller, that's the Chris Claremont one, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I love his Sin City. I love, yeah.
And I love, personally, I know this is.
Maestro, I think Jim Lee goes without saying. He's like GOAT. Yeah. He's good in everything he does, pretty much.
Jack Kirby still is the king, in my opinion. Like,
this is not maybe everyone's favorite, but McFarlane was always my personal favorite artist for Spider-Man because I loved
Yeah,
the way he did
I
the
can
grid
see that.
pattern, and also I loved the way he did the black suit with the blue highlights.
No love for Eric Larson?
I fucking love that. I don't
Shane
dislike-
Gillis, that's his name.
No love for Savage Dragon? Like, what the fuck?
Oh, fuck! I just met the guy who did the original Secret Wars, John Beatty. Got to give him his shout out.
There's a lot of great. See, what I'm saying is we're naming like already named like 25 people, and none of them are Rob Liefeld.
And
So
there's
Aaron
still,
Presti right now,
and even
I
then,
like
there
his
would
stuff.
probably still be like 25 more.
I got a confession to make. I'm just kind of have like a little refresher on like, okay, what did Liefeld draw anyway? Because it's been so long. Yeah, I actually like some of this stuff.
Well, no.
Very
He
90s.
has got, yes, he has some stuff that I think is really good, but he's inconsistent. Inconsistent. tells me
Yeah,
that
and then
he's
you see
not-
the Captain America here with his
Right.
chest out there.
when you
here,
draw
it's like,
when you
okay,
draw
yes.
people that look like inflated balloons, like I just can't. I can't with that. There's actually an article I looked at it years ago, where it's like the worst stuff that Rob Liefeld ever did, and it's awful. Go through that. Just look it up online. Like 50 worst pictures Rob Liefeld's ever done. It's bad.
Marcos
really
Martin, I love. his
Ooh,
art.
yes, that's a good one.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Man, Liefeld really wanted to put the fun bags on Captain America.
Cynthia Von Bueller is someone who's been doing her own like stuff, and I love that she both writes and draws her books when I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good new modern stuff out there that like different. I love some that feels very manga, anime inspired.
Yeah. Well, Art Adams takes a lot of his inspiration from that anime manga.
Patrick Gleason's another
vibe,
one.
So, Art Adams did a lot of cover work.
David
and
Lopez
didn't
right
do
now,
a lot of
he's doing
interiors. His interiors were great though. He did a lot of X-Men annual interiors, and I've always loved his style because it does come across a little chibi inspired, but then it was more like more 2D, like comic book, but like with that chibi anime manga type feel to it.
Amanda
just another
Connor,
one.
I really like Amanda Connor's art.
I just said another one is Patrick Gleason, the guy who did he did a lot of the Rebirth stuff. Like I know he did Superman Rebirth, did like a lot of the Batman and Robin books from like mid 2010s. I like his art personally. I know a lot of people don't talk about it as much.
So let's move on though, because we're getting lost here a little bit. So what I want to talk about now is Marvel Zombies. Let's go over some of the information before we watch the trailer. So this comes out on the 24th of September, all 4 episodes at once, which is weird. Also, September 24th is moved up. I believe it was supposed to originally come out in October, if I remember correctly, and now it's moved up to September.
More apropos for October, but that's just
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have made more sense for October, but
Yeah. Expands on What If Zombies episode. It's going to be part of Phase 6, Marvel Studios animation project with a TVMA Rainey, which I believe is the first TVMA Marvel cartoon. Is that right?
okay.
Animated it is, yeah.
Yeah.
cartoon. Yeah.
Animated Daredevil last year. So
Yeah.
that was-
Post-apocalyptic zombie virus, heroes versus infected, horror, action, and dark comedy. We got Scarlet Witch. Some of the heroes are Scarlet Witch, Captain Marvel, Hawkeye. Survivors are Kate Bishop, Shang-Chi, Kamala Khan, Yelena Belova, and Red Guardian. All these names I've been
Harris?
drinking too much. I can't say them.
I
Ms.
thought you were
Marvel,
thought you were
Ms.
about to say
Marvel, Black
But
Widow, and
Kamala
Red
Harris,
Guardian.
like, wait a minute, no, that
I
was
was about to say that.
And then we have Blade appearing. It's based on Mahershala Ali's likeness, but it's voiced by Todd Williams, which we found out a couple
What?
weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We got Olsen, Rudd, Pugh, Liu. I'm not saying their first names because I'm not doing this again. Vellani, Harper, Steinfeld, Thomas, Russell, Park, Thorne, and Williams are all going to be reprising their characters in voice cast. This is based on Robert Kirkman's Marvel Zombies from 2005, where zombies retain intelligence, powers, and they are dangerous. Let's see here. I think that's
I know
everything I have
Ronan
on my
likes
notes
this now
here.
because they said his favorite guy. I'm kidding.
Oh. Anyway, all right, so let's watch this trailer. And again, I haven't seen this yet. Some people were saying I might get a copyright claim because of the music. If that's the case, I do apologize. We will watch it. You'll still get our commentary, but you might not see the trailer.
I already have a feeling what song they might choose for this trailer.
Mine was fine, so you're.
I was gonna say Disney's typically fine with
Yeah,
this.
all right, let's see. Oh, hold on for a second. It's
Oh,
playing through my actual speakers. Hold on. Let me move this.
I'm about to get the screeching violins here.
Whoops. All right, there we go. Let me restart it.
Fucking dead.
Isn't that playing at all for anybody?
No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
It is.
We hear it.
I couldn't hear it though.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
Who cares?
All right. Oh.
Yeah, the only person.
There
who
we go.
hasn't
There we
seen
go.
it.
I know, damn it.
That's
Wow, they tell us right away. TVMA.
so good.
Where's all the people screaming about Peacemaker being too mature now? Like, this is literally the same thing here.
We're about to get the zombie warning.
Oh, wow. Holy shit.
All the Avengers are dead. And they're coming for us.
All right, we got a world to save. Namor.
Oh, my God.
Get excited, Jake.
Oh,
Oh!
Fatality.
Oh!
That's how you do that then.
Look at Miss Marvel just being like, "Oh, this is awesome."
Oh,
That's a fucking fatality if I've ever seen
my
one.
I know, right?
God.
Was that a fucking baby metal song?
And they can't make a blade script when all you have to do is this.
Oh,
I'm surprised they didn't start using the zombies song.
Oh, the Cranberries song?
Zombie, zombie. I'm like, all
Oh,
right.
they could have used the Bad Wolves cover of it too.
No, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if Blade was in like, wait, now Mortal Kombat they mostly do with DC stuff. Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm too excited.
Hey, that would fit though.
Yeah, it would definitely fit.
They almost had him in a Marvel Capcom game, but he got scrapped.
Yeah.
Sad day.
I am
Maybe he'd be in Token.
fucking speechless about it. Like, that looked so good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll say, even though they used the What If animation, which I'm typically not a fan of,
It looks better. Yeah.
that looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I generally, Ronan and Darren know this. I've been pretty critical against the What
I'm
If.
not a big
I
fan
do.
of the What If animation either, but I feel like we've taken a break from it, and going back to it is okay, I think, at this point.
They probably actually gave them they probably actually gave them time and a budget to actually do it.
Yeah, because even then, there were points, like watching during Eyes of Wakanda, where I'm like, okay, some of this looks a little blocky, but it still looked pretty good for the most part. And this looks like a step up from that.
I am first of all, I have to give them a shout out for doing TVMA for a zombie thing. Like, that's the right choice. I think it's totally the right choice. This is going to be even more gruesome than what we got in the What If episode, which I think was already kind of pushing it. This is going to be even more than that. It's 4 episodes. Do we know what the runtime is on each episode? Is it like a half an hour, 45 minutes?
I
Do we
assume
know?
20 minutes, like Eyes of
I
Wakanda.
imagine
So essentially a 2-hour movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Eyes of Wakanda all over again.
But then I would just say make a movie. Like, that was kind of my pitch with Eyes of Wakanda, where that could have been a movie. Like, they could have just made
Yeah.
that a movie.
Like, that
Uh,
could have just been one, yeah.
Staggervorth the 190 super chat. Future Marvel film Avengers Level Z rated R.
What's interesting is, like,
Hmm.
I think a Marvel Zombies movie would actually make.
It would. I think it would
Like-
do really well.
Like, if you actually market this as like it's your Marvel characters, it's animated, it's a lower budget, right? It doesn't have to be a massive budget like your normal Marvel movies. Put it out like October 15th. I think it makes a lot. I
God, that
think
shot
so.
looks badass right there of
It
Blade.
is.
I mean, just everything about this. I don't have any negative comments. It's
Looks fun.
like, it looks really, really good to me.
Is that Thor there?
It looked like they recreated Thor landing in Wakanda.
Okay.
Or like Star-Lord in a way.
Yeah, or Adam Warlock.
Oh, yeah, Thor.
That's what I thought at
I'm
first.
not
too,
gonna say
and
I
then
thought
he
it
has
was Warlock.
lightning.
I would rather
This
not
is
see
crazy.
Warlock.
Spider-Man cutting off heads with
Mhm.
webs is like,
He activated
ripping them
instant
off.
kill again.
I just,
I saw a tweet that I thought was very funny where they said,
Whoa, yeah, zombie Thanos.
yeah. Right
Yeah, he was in the last one.
here. Oops, hold on. Where
I
is
think
that?
Thanos was in last season too, or like what if season or one.
Well,
I
so
blocked out a lot of what if.
let me tell you one of the things I'm really appreciating about this is when I was watching What If each episode, I'm like, a lot of them cut off at the point where the episode was getting interested.
Yeah.
Like it was like interesting stuff happening at the end, and I'm
Right.
like, why did you end it there?
It's like
There's a few of them
four-part
that
What If
didn't.
episode.
Like what if Doctor Strange, you know, the What If one where he with his hands or whatever, and he tried to like it is, but that one was interesting all the way through. But like some of these, it's like they got interesting at the end, and I'm like, I want to see more. This was one of the ones, and it makes sense for them to bring it back. I don't know. I'm digging this together, like all together. I love it.
I saw a tweet that I thought was kind of funny where they said Spider-Man's going to be in a rated R project and Punisher's going to be in a PG-13 project.
Yeah.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
And this is his first, I'm pretty sure his first ever R-rated Spider-Man thing that he's ever been in, which is interesting to think about. Unless I'm missing something. I could be.
I mean, I'm trying to remember if there was like a video game appearance. That
yeah, it could have been a video game. Yeah.
So before we move into the next topic, a couple things. First of all, we are 5 out of 10 super chats. Thank you guys for supporting. If you're watching on Reloaded, we're 5 out of 10. We're almost halfway there. When we get a couple more super chats, I'll go ahead and make the poll. This time I'm going to take suggestions from people on the panel. So the poll will be panel suggestions. So we'll be doing that as soon as we get to around 7 or 8 super chats. Again, it's any amount tonight. There's no number. It's like any super chat counts. So anything that people want to contribute, it's awesome. I appreciate you guys. Secondly, get the likes up. I want to see more likes on both channels. We've got almost 130 people watching between 2 channels, so definitely get the likes up. I know you guys can do it. I know you're playing your video games or you're gooning. Either way, take a pause and hit the like button. And if you're gooning while you're watching us, then I'd like to know which member of the chat you're gooning to. So with that being said...
I was about to say something really messed up.
I don't know.
His ball surgery was a success, but now he has to deal with the recovery. And please, chilling this channel.
Serenity says Jake. Okay, good calling it out. Jaybird says Goon Squad assemble. There we go.
What, Darren?
I said, is it the hat?
Hey, at least no one's threatening to shit in this thing.
Oh no, I don't even know what that is.
Do we know what lists we're doing tonight? If we are doing
okay, actually, let's determine that now. What would you guys like to do? Because I have all mine done already. I just have to know which one we're doing.
Can we have a recap of what we picked? Because I have forgotten.
What were the contenders?
3Dub says that we had already decided on one.
Whoa, Darren, look down in the chat.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
very sweet.
Where's
on Discord, Jake said the top 5 comic book storylines.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Top 5 comic book storylines?
Put that damn thing away.
We can do that, or we can do...
No Diddy Omega, come on.
Or we can do top 5...
Ain't no Diddy party.
We can do top 5 cartoons with animals. One of those 2 is fine.
I'm glad he liked what I put in the group chat earlier.
I like the comic storylines. I like that.
Chat, would you rather see top 5... We'll just see what the chat says. Would you rather see top 5 comic book storylines at the end of the stream or top 5 cartoons with animals as the main characters? Just drop it in the chat. Let us know what you think about that. All right, so let me bring up...
You can make like a straw poll for it.
That would be too much work for me. I've been drinking too much. Let's see here. All right, so we have this. We got 2 things for Green Lanterns I want to talk about. So first of all, let me pull up what info I have, because even though I've been drinking, I made sure I wrote stuff down before we started so that I could stay on track here. All right, so the release window right now is there's no firm date, but people expect early 2026, Q1, because filming wrapped July of 2025. People forgot the tone is grounded noir detective story. It's in Nebraska, space cops on Earth. Influences are True Detective, Slow Horses, Black Mirror. It says it's not adapting one arc, but deeply rooted in Green Lantern mythology. Chris Mundy, Tom King, Damon Lindelof, and James Hawes. Nathan Fillion is going to be showing up on the series. Dillahunt's casting spark rumors of Black Hand, which we'll look at that in a second based on his stuff coming from social media. And They're calling it a prestige cop drama, is what they're saying. Now, the reason why I'm pulling this up is because I'm going to sort of just spark some of my interest about this as well as my concerns. So Chris Mundy and Damon Lindelof, have done things like Ozark, True Detective, and the script has gotten so much wit, so much character, and it's like a buddy cop movie. And I've talked about this sort of True Detective, Fargo, No Country for Old Men, naturalistic. It's a buddy cop movie where somebody flies and somebody flies. I hate to do this because I don't want to be that person, but even though we've seen some stuff behind the scenes, I'm definitely still feeling very nervous about this. We have some pictures we're going to look at in a second that make me feel a little nervous about it. I love all of these shows. I think all of these are great influences, but where is the reference to the comic book stuff? No one is mentioning like a storyline or a character or anything that's making me feel confident that we're looking into the comics for something.
Maybe they don't want to give too much in the fear that it might give something away. I don't know.
But Green Lanterns is not like the most popular like pop culture like storylines or anything. Like the average person isn't going to know these things. You know what I mean?
No, they won't.
Let me tell you though, like what made me a little bit nervous, and we can continue the conversation. But I want to show this here. So we got some photos here. And I want to point this out. They're zoomed in. This is the photo we got, but we zoomed in. This looks like John Diggle shit. Like the jacket and stuff. It's just giving John Diggle CW vibes. And look, I love CW, but I don't want to see this. I want to see costumes. I want to see suits. If this is his suit, this green jacket, I'm going to be so fucking like disappointed.
Thought we were done with Smallville jackets.
Unless they're willing to hold the suits until a moment in the show, fine. I have I'm not worried yet. I trust the team behind it. I trust the two guys who are playing the characters. It's again, what I appreciate that they set the not the tone, but like, listen, it's not gonna be a big space adventure. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
And like, as long as they can use their rings, do some constructs, and if it's something that is going to be pivotal to the big storyline of chapter 1, I'll go with you.
Yeah, because they're talking about the whole gods and monsters type thing as the whole pretext for chapter 1, and I feel like this, you're going to encounter a bit of both.
Yeah, like you casted Sinestro. Like there, you're already going down a good path. It's just that, is it going to look good? Are we going to believe there's people?
Yeah.
And will it be something that intrigues us? And again, will it be what you say, where it won't feel like the previous stuff? If it doesn't feel fully like Commandos or Superman or Peacemaker or Supergirl, then that's the compliment. That's something that, like, you didn't lie about that. You said that each thing was going to be its own style vibe, and it's going to be based on whoever's running and writing set show or movie,
which is what the comics are at the end of the day. Like when you get to the comics and all these characters, like you have a different set of tone and vibe for people, like Batman, who works differently than a character like Superman, who works different than the Green Lanterns, Task Force X, the Flash family, Wonder Woman, so on. And when you get all these ingredients together and then mix them into one recipe, and you see the cake that you get out of it, then you see what happens. Now, I'm curious what the ingredients they're cooking with here. I'm curious as to what they're making. We're using all these cooking analogies, but it's I don't think we can say a whole lot for certain yet. Like it's all just speculation.
Are there any deal breakers for you guys? Let's get into that. Is there something that you're looking for in the show that if it doesn't happen, it would be a deal breaker for you?
I'm actually kind of curious. It's not really a deal breaker for me, but I just realized that Guy Gardner's powers doesn't have when he's flying, he doesn't have that green aura around him.
You mean like to hold them up while they're flying and stuff?
Yeah, because I thought the ring is supposed to be the one that makes him fly.
If it's on Earth, I don't mind it. If it's in space and it still looks the exact same way, then I'm like, suspension of disbelief.
Because I'm thinking the aura is supposed to like protect them.
For me, like I'm willing to let them cook with this. Like I'm going into it like hoping it's going to be good. That's the way I do everything. I'm not going to go into it being like, yeah, it's going to be shit. Like I'm not thinking that at all. But I'm very concerned because this is the most space opera franchise that DC has, and to ground it seems like such a wasted opportunity.
I'll say this: if they're investigating something that's terrestrial, which they said is terrestrial, which is on Earth, which is a lot of like big, Green Lantern storylines, I'll say this: if they're not in their suits because of an investigation and because it's probably pivotal that they're on to something, it makes sense that they don't want to show off their costumes that much right now. Like Guy Gardner's gonna wear his suit and he's gonna be loud as hell, and that makes
right.
sense.
Yeah, I also think like you have to remember this is also an origin story for John Stewart, right? He very well may not be Green Lantern at the start of the show, and it's a story about him accepting that
him becoming
that.
Right.
Yeah. So like, I could see a world where John Stewart isn't suited for most of the season, but Hal Jordan is. Like he's the one that's in the suit, or he's doing whatever.
Yeah. Kind of like Sam in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where that show builds up to him being Captain America.
I would go out on a limb and say that Hal Jordan is about to retire as Green Lantern.
Well, yeah, I mean, considering you have 60-year-old Cal Chandler playing him, I wouldn't be shocked if that's where they're going. The thing that I don't like, the theory that's being thrown around, I hope they don't do this. The whole making almost said Cal Chandler, making Hal Jordan Parallax. I hope they don't do that.
Not yet.
No. Like that's something you need to see on a Hal that you've spent like 5 years with, not when you're first meeting him.
And if you're gonna do Parallax, you better cast me as Kyle. Jesus, damn it, Jake. Kyle Rayner. I need to be casted for that, and then I need to beef up and just be sitting on a beach somewhere and seeing that and be like, okay, now we're teasing up Kyle Rayner later on. Like, not yet. But look at this.
Right.
Look at this.
Thoughts on this? Go ahead, Ronan. Cook with this one. I want to hear what
we
you
are
guys
getting these characters. I feel like, you know what? Let me see the first trailer. Let me get a taste of the series from the first episode and see how I feel, because you already have this, and this feels very comic booky.
Yeah, exactly. When I saw this, I was like, wait a minute, I'm getting conflicting feelings about this. It's like grounded, terrestrial, true detective shit, and then we're getting 3 crazy sci-fi villains. Like,
and like again, if this is a conspiracy, if this is a mystery, and if they're smart enough, they don't want to be bombastic and outlandish with their suits and on space. They want to keep it as secret as possible, which would probably make Hal and John be like, okay, listen, we have these rings. Emergencies only. Let's go underground and let's find out what the hell's going on. And then you have Guy there and be like, "What's up, guys? Let's do this." And it's just like, "God damn it, guys, shut up!" Like there's something about, and like you're ruining and whatnot. And he's like, "Hey man, we're the fucking Green Lantern. We can do what we want." It's like, dude, the loud one in the room is the weakest one in the room.
Yeah. No, I saw Ronan wearing his ring. It's like, you know what? Let me go grab mine.
Listen, man.
I just
as long as it's close to what I experienced of the Green Lantern animated series, and it's a little bit of what I experienced with John Stewart in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, I'm a happy camper.
Hell, even reading Green Lantern.
Jaybird, I'm sold. Okay, sign me up. I'm going to watch every episode twice. And Estro's gone to Earth to find his ring because someone sold it on eBay. Okay.
Hell, even do like a little bit of what they did back in, what was it, 2010, 2009, somewhere around there, where they did Green Lantern Secret Origin. Do a little bit of that. And I wouldn't mind if they adapted some of that into this too. Now, granted, that was Hal in not the same age range he is here, but to respond to the comment down there, this isn't saying for certain that they won't be in their suits in the show. We're just speculating ways that it could go down.
Yeah. I was saying that I was basically talking that was like a deal breaker for me. If we're doing like Diggle jackets shit in the show, I'm going to be really annoyed. Like that's a deal breaker for me.
I think James, him being a DC fan, he knows that like, okay, the Arrowverse did the jackets, suits.
Smallville did it. Like,
that's all Smallville did pretty much.
It's like we're DC Studios. I don't think we're breaking the bank or we're on a tight budget if we don't.
Right. They're not.
And again, even if initially they're not in the suits, for damn sure they're like, okay, listen, right now you're not gonna be much in the suits, but eventually
They're gonna get.
We need you to be in a suit, so let's see how you look in the suit beforehand. It's like,
they're not limited to a budget. They don't have restrictions on what characters they can use. They have everything at their disposal.
Right.
People who are going to be watching this show who are not Lancer fans, they're going to be like, you know, when the moment when either Hal or John light up the ring and they have the suits on, they're be like, oh, okay. And also be like, let's go.
Yeah, when we hear that, there's going to be a moment where, like, I know, like me, Ronan, everybody else who's a Green Lantern fan, as soon as we hear the words "in brightest day," we're all going to be geeking out.
Yeah.
We're
like, it's happening.
Yep, they're doing the thing.
Yeah.
There's like two shows I'd like. No, it's fine. There's two shows I kind of want to bring in as like comparison. I think one is like Daredevil. I think that's a good one where it's like, okay, he has to earn his suit. And I'm not saying Green Lantern doesn't have to earn his suit, but they purposely left him out of that suit for a narrative reason. And if he's wearing more of a suit jacket for most of the season, there's a reason for it. And it's not just, oh, we couldn't afford it or we didn't have money. It's like, no, there's a reason why they're doing that. So I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt we ever see the show.
Well, have we ever seen them? Because like, we have that set photo where it's just them, you know, walking on the road.
Yeah, we haven't seen these.
And John has his ring. Does Hal have his?
We couldn't tell because his hand is turned in a weird way.
And the first still that we have him on, like Hal is wearing his ring.
Hal is? Okay. So the thing that makes me wonder that then, have we ever seen any bit of context where they're wearing the ring, but the suit isn't on them? Because I don't recall if we've seen that.
Diggle.
Well, he didn't wear it, Darren. He didn't wear it, Darren. That doesn't count.
Okay.
And then just very green glowed up on his face, and it was ... Right? Am I right or am I wrong?
Well, you would have been right had they stopped it there.
Okay, because all I know is that the OG Flash in the 90s at one point says, "Hey, John, you're not wearing your ring," and I just like, wait, what?
Nope. Yeah. He takes it on, he puts it off again. He takes it on, he puts it on. Like it's a thing.
Everybody was going nuts over that, yours included, because I was like, "Oh shit!"
And throws it away.
It was like, "Oh shit, my childhood Flash," and it's like, "Wait, he fucking said what?"
Yeah.
There was so much dopamine in that moment, man.
Dude.
Anyway,
and then. Go ahead, Jake.
Sorry, no good. It's fine.
Like, I also kind of want to throw in like Superman and Lois just a little bit when bring up. Oh, it's a grounded show. It's a grounded show. It's like, I also consider Superman and Lois to be a bit of a grounded show, and they did characters like
because they dealt with realistic stuff.
Bizarro and Doomsday. Like, I think you can have these comic elements within a grounded show.
Yeah, I mean, season 3. Like the whole heart of season 3 was a very realistic thing that people deal with in the real world. And you had, you know, like one of your big bads of that season was a meta who was dealing with that exact same thing.
Yeah.
And people, this pisses me off. And I think me and Ronan and Darren and some others, we even did a whole discussion about this where people misuse the term grounded so much.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit on here too. Yeah.
That really pisses me off. It's like that just because you see the term grounded, that doesn't mean that it can't have fantastical elements. It means that there are elements in that story that you can relate to that are grounded in reality that can happen in your everyday life. That doesn't mean that there's not a little bit of fantastical candy coating there. Case in point, Superman and Lois. I won't spoil this for Ronan because he hasn't seen it. But like I just brought up with that third season, there's a very real thing at the heart of that third season, but it has a bunch of people with superpowers and, you know, creating monsters and, you know, having that thing at the heart of the season be something that is killing your villain. All of that is there. And, you know, when you look at all these other shows too, like season 1 of The Flash, even like stuff in Black Lightning, they deal with a lot of very real things while having all that superficial candy coating there. And you being able to relate to that stuff as a viewer is what makes that stuff grounded. You don't have to suspend your disbelief 24/7. That's what makes it relatable.
I will say, like, grounded is the thing that makes me not want to watch it. I'm more interested in the cosmic aspect of the show other than, you know, grounded stuff. Cause I live it, so I don't need to see it on TV.
Well, I want to put it out there also that my issue is that, you're watching a show that shouldn't be running on a budget of like, we have to make excuses for them not to be in a costume. I think like Darren was saying, if they have a narrative reason why they're doing it, then I don't have an issue with that. But if it's just a budget thing, then I do have an issue with it. Like that's kind of how I feel about it. You know what I mean? So
if it's like an HBO type of budget, that shouldn't be a concern.
That's what I'm saying though, Jake. That's why I'm saying like I want to know why. If it's like we have to go undercover because of this reason, then yeah, I'm good with that. But if it's like, oh, I lost my ring today and now I can't put my suit on, like I'm not gonna that kind of shit's not gonna work for me.
That's the same thing that the Tomorrowverse did with Jon Stewart, and I really didn't understand it. Like in those, especially in those Crisis movies, that trilogy, they sidelined him for like what a movie and a half basically, where he didn't have his ring. Hal had, if I remember correctly, one or two scenes in that whole trilogy, and then he was pretty much gone. And them being an animation, them having an animated budget, that being an animated movie, they really didn't have an excuse to sideline those characters as much as they did.
Right. All right. So with that being said, I think we should move into anybody that wants to talk about Peacemaker episode 2 from season 2. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I do want to talk about some very specific stuff that happened in the episode.
I haven't seen any of it, but I'm actually getting ready to fade here. So
okay. All right, Omega. We'll see you later. Thanks for joining in.
Yeah.
Bye, buddy.
But yeah, we're going to talk. I know Jake's not watching it, but I think everybody else, 3Dub's not watching it either. So me, Ronan, and Darren are probably the only ones that have watched Peacemaker. So
the triangle of Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Darren, don't lie.
So,
that's bad.
What's up? What was that? What did you say in the chat? Oh, gotcha. Yeah. All right. So, I guess I've got my notes here, and it kind of just goes through the episode as it plays out, and I'm just going to mention the things that I want to talk about, and then I guess you guys can jump in with anything you have on it. I'm going to say this. I'm really enjoying Peacemaker Season 2. I actually think it's pretty well written in terms of like the storyline they're trying to tell, but there is a little confusion with some of the characters and the chronological stuff that happened between the DCEU and the DCU that I think they handled well in the first episode, but didn't handle too well in the second episode. And that starts out with the beginning. So we have Rick Flag Sr., who is the head of Argus. And we get like a flashback. I think it said, was it like, how many months was it? 8 months ago? Yeah. Economos gets a new handler. We have to deal with some Eagly stuff. Chris dealing with like all the trauma that's going on, everything. That's pretty much the core of the episode. Of course, the stuff with Harcourt as well. But we get the beginning of the episode, and Rick Flag Sr. is walking around Argus as the new director post Waller. And this is where it gets a little wonky for me. Let me finish this little part I have here, though. But he presses Economos for files on Rick Jr.'s death. And this sets up that vendetta plot line that we're going to have, or we are currently dealing with in the season. I talked with Darren a little bit about this after we ended the stream last week because we didn't want to talk about it on stream. And I've already looked at it, so I know I'm right about this, but there is a chronological issue with Waller's position at Argus between all of the things going all the way back to the Suicide Squad, Creature Commandos, and now in Peacemaker, and also considering what happens during Superman. And even James says he's still committed. There was an article here. I'm going to read you guys what it says here, the quote. Let me find it quickly. James Gunn confirms he's still working on a Viola Davis-led Amanda Waller series. Okay. And goes on to say, actually, I'm going to put this up on screen for now. He goes on to say, where's it at? I got a million windows open. Speaking to people in a recent interview when Superman Helmer confirmed the DC Studios co-CEO Peter Safran is still working on the show. He said, we're working on it, so we'll see what happens. Some things have moved faster than others. Waller's not been the fastest, but I can't wait to see Viola put her Waller pants on again. And then further down here, it says, we've taken a couple cracks at Waller. We haven't been able to land it. These are all like other previous quotes. We're still working on it. Waller's been tough. The strike was tough on Waller. There's a certain amount of time needed to do Peacemaker first. We're going to go with Waller before Peacemaker season 2, but I wrote Peacemaker quickly and we're ready to go. So all of this, I think, is an issue with this character in the DCU now, because chronologically things don't add up. And I think they know that, but it's weird because and I said this to Darren and Ronan, you'd already left last week when we talked about it, but this kind of makes some of the Suicide Squad canon to the DCU. Some of it, not all of it, but at least the stuff that happened with Peacemaker and Rick Flag Jr. Obviously. So thoughts on this? How do we feel about the way they're handling this? And with Rick Flag Sr. being in charge of Argus, how would we even do a Waller show at this point if she's no longer even in the fold at Argus?
I can't believe I'm going to quote this series. But like Nick Fury said, even when he's out, he's still in. I think that Amanda Waller does not give up that easily. Like there's no way in hell. She still thinks that she's the best person to be protecting America's interests.
More than Rick Flag Sr.?
Oh yeah, you kidding me? Dude, she used her son as almost like a getaway thing at the beginning of the Suicide Squad movie. Just like, all right, you're good, Team 2. Go ahead, do your mission. I'm digging it because I could easily tell. Okay, this is post Creature Commandos and post the Suicide Squad. Got it. Yeah. I know where I'm at, so I'm not lost in that, and I'm liking that. Like again, most of all this stuff, all the stuff that's happening is out of personal and characteristic motives. It's not about plot. The plot is the whole dimensional shit and whatnot, and that's the background thing. And I appreciate that in that day and age. And now it's like the reason why he's like this because Chris can't get over the fact that like he's still got demons in him. He's trying to fix stuff with Emilia. You see Rick Flag Sr. and like I think now twice people, both Sasha and John, have been like, listen, what happened? It wasn't. No one's flat out said to him, but like what happened between your son and his death. It wasn't a personal thing. Like the guy who, like even Sasha said, like, listen, the guy who you want as a modern, he did good. He did good by us. And like, fuck Peacemaker. And like, I'm hoping that we get to a point where like someone tells him flat out, like, this was an order from Waller. Mm-hmm. Like, take it up with her. Like this dude, like, again, I that's why I appreciate so much of why I was wanting to give Peacemaker season 1 a shot, is that the look on Chris as soon as he kills Rick in the movie was regret. Instant regret. It was instant regret. Like he didn't want to do it. He had respect for Flag.
I do like the idea that movie is somewhat canon in the new DCU because that's one of my favorite DCEU movies was the Suicide Squad.
It's my favorite DC movie. Like I love it so much.
What did you say, Jake?
I said it's not the worst.
Moving on, though, we have the Chris and the corpse problem. After killing his alt self last episode, Chris and Vigilante do a grim cleanup with bone saws and incinerator humor, which the episode uses for Gallo laughs and guilt. What did we think about this? Because we got to see a little bit of Vigilante reacting to the orgy that happened at Peacemaker's house, and then being upset that they weren't doing that together because that's what friends do, according to him. So
I love that it felt like a Rick and Morty thing. I'm like, all right, we got to get rid of the doppelgangers. All right, cool. How the fuck do we do this? And it's a call Vigilante. He has fun. This is a bonding moment for him, and it's just like, bro, Adrian, Jesus. I had fun with it.
I'm really curious about Vigilante this season because so far he's definitely. He's not bad, but he's definitely the weakest character among the cast right now. I feel like everyone is building to something really.
Look at Jake shaking his head to that.
And
it just makes me depressed because I love Adrian Chase.
That's the thing because if they do what I think they're going to do, I think Jake would be very happy with what they're doing.
I think you're. Do you want to give your theory on what they're going to do? Because I follow your theory as well.
Because
say that again.
I think if they do what I think they're going to do, you will really like what they're doing with Vigilante, because they've now mentioned, I'm pretty sure twice now, where like he's like, man, I wonder what my other self is like. I wonder what like my doppelganger is like. So like my theory has been when they go over, it's super comic accurate Vigilante. And it's completely contrasted our version of that character, and maybe even to the point maybe he even kills our version of the character or something, and it turns into this story of like grass looked greener on the other side, and now I regret what I had before, and I should have cared for my friends more. I should have cared for him more.
You have Jake's interest. He's like,
So I think that's a way to like please both fans because I like this version of the character. as an original character, as
Right.
like as someone who's doesn't know the comic of the character that well. But then you can also please the like comic fans where they're like, that's not vigilante. That's someone completely different. You can have your cake and eat it too.
The only times I looked at a version of vigilante outside of the comics and said that's vigilante was for about 10 episodes of Arrow. For about 10, yeah. Everything they did with him in season 5.
Season 5 is sick as hell.
Yeah.
See you later, Christian. Have a great night.
But they did really good with him there. And then season 6 started, and yeah. Which I don't hate that season, but man,
he took off his mask. I was like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Okay, so that's the funny thing. And Ronan, this is why it's funny, because they say before that season started, I remember this vividly. I even called out Guggenheim about this on Twitter, and he said, they say, "Oh, that version of Vigilante, yeah, this is a character It was a character we had seen in one scene,
and he was recast. He was a recast.
And it was recast.
So Darren has shown me the suit from the show.
Oh, the suit was fantastic. Yeah,
and
it's really cool.
The suit looks closer to the comics, but goddamn it,
the thing.
Yeah, goddamn it, that looks like Home Depot, Lowe's made like.
I mean, like maybe just in comparison to what they have on Peacemaker. I think
sure, yeah, I'll give you that, and that's why that's what I'm saying. Like, listen, I haven't seen the last 3 episodes, and they've been saying that like we're holding off the last 3 because it's spoilers, and like it's James saying it's his favorite things he's done.
Yeah.
So I would say, Jake, just hold on, because you never know. Like, again, dude, this came out with Peacemaker. You don't think that he was like, all right, you know what? Eventually, let's give him Vigilante. I had a wife, and I'm gonna fucking go kill them all. Like they're gonna go full Death Wish with Vigilante, I think, at one point. And when that happens, if that happens, Jake is gonna shit his pants.
Because I won't spoil this for anybody who wants to go read it, but if you look into DC Comics, Vigilante is a fucking tragic character.
Yeah.
There is a lot of like deep-seated issues there with that character. People think Jason Todd has depression issues and that he gets moody and things like that. Doesn't hold a candle to Adrian Chase, in my opinion. I mean, I love both those characters, but in terms of just how messed up he is in the head and his deep-seated mental issues.
I mean, they could definitely do that with this alt-Earth, like this different Earth they're dealing with. So we do have a relevant super chat here from Columbia Rican, New York. Good to see you, by the way. $5 super chat. Amanda Waller still has pull. No one who gets in a high position as her and does not have pull. She would have already planned for her removal of Argus. Do we agree with this?
Yeah. I honestly think she's probably in a more interesting spot that she's not currently in Argus. Like, I think that gives her a lot more just like character potential and like character growth that she could be going on in between seasons.
Yeah.
If that's like a prequel to Peacemaker, because they said it's not like a linear timeline, so it could still be before Peacemaker season 2. Or if it's the outbreak of that, of like, okay, she loses.
I mean, we could do like half the season prior and then half the season after. Like that would be a good way to like.
Or you do like flashbacks to like prior as well.
I mean, to be fair, losing Viola at all is a big issue. I think she's incredible in this role, so I think that would be bad for everybody if that were the case. All right, so the next thing I have here on my notes, I just noticed Ronan said that he'll be back on mobile, possibly. We have Langston Fleury, Tim Meadows, showing up to help instantly. Nicknames Economos Ginger Cool, and claims he has bird blindness, which, by the way, when I was watching the episode, I was like, this is so stupid because it went on for so long. Like, the joke went on for so long. Obviously, it matters by the end of the episode, but it was just a funny, random thing. He's like, my only weakness is bird blindness. And I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about? But he was ignoring Economos, and then he was doing the weird thing where like massaging his shoulders in the van. I was like, this is so creepy. But he's really good in the role. I thought it was some good scenes. There's actually, if you watch the end of the episode, there's additional dialogue between them after the credits. So
Xana, I hope that does not happen.
If you don't mind, if I could speak on it a little bit, because I think that's where the crust of my feelings on this episode lives a little bit. Because I think this episode shows the absolute strength and weakness of James Gunn's writing a little bit in this episode for me, because this episode had so much heart, had so much emotion, had so much like heartbreaking storytelling where I'm like, that's where he lives, that's where James Gunn thrives. And then you had the Tim Meadows stuff, which I was very conflicted on because he is a really funny actor. I think Tim Meadows is arguably one of the funniest living actors right now. He is so good, and all of the scenes were cracking me up. But it does sometimes feel like a stand-up bit. It does feel like it's James Gunn pitching jokes, being like, "This would be really funny. Let's put this here." And I think his weakness has always been where he puts his humor and how he sets it inside with media. And I think this was an episode where, like, sometimes I'm like, "That's funny," but now I'm totally distracted about what this episode was even about. They keep underpaying the momentum and tone of the episode sometimes to like, hey, let's make a Muppet joke. And it's like, I didn't, maybe you could have trimmed that down a little bit. Maybe.
You mean with like hardcore when she was going to like pick up the stuff at the drugstore and everything?
There was quite a few scenes where I'm like, that could have been trimmed down a little bit, or that could have been placed better.
That right there is like my biggest thing when it comes to Gunn's projects. I feel like too often he gets in his own way.
There's that.
Well, now there's no one stopping him. Like, that's the thing, is it's basically his decision on everything.
There's that scene from season 1, and I think this best describes how I feel about season 1 of Peacemaker. There is that fantastic scene where he has to go through and he has to shoot his own dad, and that is such an emotionally driven, powerful scene. And then like Vigilante comes in, and he's like, "What's that on your face? And why is there water on your face?" It's like, you just kind of undercut the most powerful scene in the entire show with a bit. And it's funny, it is, but it shouldn't come at the expense of your material, in my opinion.
Right.
But Tim Meadows is great. I'm curious to see what they do with him. I hope they do a little bit more with him outside of just like a one-man skit machine. So we'll see.
Then we had Harcourt storyline, which is like the pharmacy run, which you talked about, where we get to see her interacting with Ronan, did you want to talk about that a little bit? Because Darren says that scene, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like the humor in that moment and some of the other humor sort of offset things in the episode, like the Muppet jokes and everything. Did you have any thoughts on that?
Bit. Yeah. I love that scene a lot. It's just the end bit, like with the Muppet, she can call him the Muppet, and then it cuts there. But like they go,
but it kept going. It kept going.
Seconds. It's like too much. Much.
Yeah. When you have to explain the joke like that, it's not funny anymore.
Yeah, to me, I didn't mind it because it was just a little bit compared to the whole thing of like why that lady was offering help to Amelia, and like that felt bad. And like again, it's something that's so good when like you see something that's like worthy of like that's a great human moment, and you already know what Amelia's gonna say. And like I was surprised. I'm like, Emilia said like, "Listen, no, thank you, but I'm busy." And then like, essentially told her to go fuck off, and I was like, "All right, that makes sense." But like, I'm liking that they're making us wait to see if Amelia still has any room to like get better, and she sees that and can do that herself.
I love the line she says this week, where it's like, "I am not a damn mirror," and then we cut to Peacemaker, where he's dealing with his alternate reality.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. That was a good
parallels there. That's really awesome. That's really cool.
Let's see here. Also, she had hosting a party for the 11th Street kids, which I thought was kind of cool. That was a fun little moment between all of them. Argus raid versus Eagly, while the team parties, the squad raids Chris's house, and Eagly does like rated R shit to everybody. Of course, this is when the whole bird blindness thing comes in from, Tim Meadows, Langston, where he's seeing the duck as he calls it, fly around and like maul people, which I'm pretty sure. You know what? I wish they would have shown us that. Like, show us what he was seeing for a split second. Like
his perspective?
Duck, like a duck flying around attacking people. I thought that would have been kind of funny. There's a lot of really gruesome moments in that. Eagly's pretty badass. So give him a shout out there. And we see Chris or Peacemaker dealing with everything he's dealing with this alternate world version and getting rid of the body of the other version of him. And you got him scrolling through the alt Chris, or I don't know what we call it, Chris 2's phone. With the Earth 2, World 2 Harcourt, and the message lands when he crosses over with a broken heart emoji. And that's pretty much where we're at with these. We have basically the storylines for the season or for this episode were really sort of parallels between our characters in the main continuity and what was going on in the alternate continuity. Is that a fair assessment to make there?
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was good. I think episode 1 was a bit stronger for me than episode 2. But I think it's still in a good spot. I think we're still in a good place. Overall, I had a good time with it. I thought it was good.
I have a question for you, Dan. Which I kind of thought about you when this scene happened and like what I was pondering how I felt about it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this episode undermines Argus as an organization? That like 5 of them can be taken out by a single eagle? Do you think next time Argus shows up in like Superman or Lanterns or something that you will feel like you won't feel their presence anymore because they got taken down by a bird?
That's a good question, but I also think about like what Argus was doing anyway. Think about this. They have access to lots of other things, whether it be people with powers or whatever. They're dealing with an unknown interdimensional door. And that was the team they sent?
Yeah.
I mean, just think about that for a second. Like, they sent a team of bumbling idiots, essentially.
Yeah.
Where
and this is their like first real big like time to shine.
Right, where Langston was calling them like boob girl and all kinds of weird names and stuff. Like, it just felt a little bit like, are they stormtroopers or is this Argus? I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be. You know? So, have a good night, Silhouette Animator. Sorry to hear you gotta go. But take care. Yeah, thank you for being here.
I understand that notion, Darren, and just like I think that also speaks to like, okay, is Rick Flag actually making Argus better, or hold on a second?
We have these are a few Easter eggs. I thought I'd mention these really quickly before. Yeah, go ahead, Ronan. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying that like I think this also shows the fact of like Rick, Senior, are you really focused on like protecting the planet, or are you just hung up? Which again, it's valid, completely valid on like what happened to your son and why it was so shut off from you, even though you're a general. So I like that aspect, but again, I agree that like, should I feel Argus's presence, or what's the deal on that? Which I hope, if it's not developed or talked about in these first few episodes, then like do it during that big pivotal moments in the last 3 where again they're going out of the way not to show those 3 to the public, to like not the public, but the like press. I hope it delivers in that angle. And what does that say about where we're at? Maybe Argus needs to be on the new management. Maybe by the end of this, who knows?
Maybe he isn't the correct person for Argus. That's why he couldn't be there in the first place.
Yeah.
So here's some quick little like things from the episode that I wrote down. We had the Lord Tech phone. I thought that was kind of cool. Sasha Bordeaux. This was something that I saw on Twitter. So this is a deep cut DC spy, Bruce Wayne's one-time bodyguard from Bruce Wayne Murderer.
Oh yeah.
Checkmate Black Queen OMAC adjacent.
Oh, they brought
So this is a
her
potential brid from Argus to Checkmate style geopolitics. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's
but,
a name I haven't heard in a minute.
However, connected to the bumbling idiot crew. That's the problem. It was connected to the bumbling idiot crew. So I'm like, really?
Sure, but she's not a bumbling idiot. I'll say that right out.
No, she's not. But the crew was. Like the crew as a whole were full of people that were just arguing about dumb shit. So that's kind of unfortunate. We had the Gotham name drop because Adebayo and Kia plan to move there. Which, by the way, who the fuck moves to Gotham?
It was so silly.
They asked Danielle Brooks, why would anybody want to move back to Gotham? They're like, well, I don't know.
Hey, Darren, doesn't that kind of remind you of Superman, Darren? We're moving back to Gotham.
Yep.
Dang it.
It reminded me of the scene as someone from Ohio. It reminded me of the scene from like Black Widow where it's like, I don't want to leave Ohio. I was like, why not? Leave. Get out of there, bro.
Did you guys see Jitter's Coffee? Did you see that?
I didn't see it, but I heard.
No, I missed it.
That was Kia's job. Is it Jitters? It was on her like little outfit.
I heard something about that. Yeah, like again, like I look back at it, and that's why I think this era of DCU, it might have a lot more rewatchability because like there's hidden stuff everywhere there for you to pick up on if you miss it the first time.
This, I don't know if you saw the little like interview clip from James Gunn, but like he shouts out like CW's Flash. He's like, yeah, it's a bit from the comics, and then Brent Gustin's Flash series, did a lot with it. I was like, holy shit! All right, like he knows.
Oh.
He knows
They're
about Grant. He knows about the little stuff from that show. So, like, again, I really don't think Grant's going to be the DCU Flash. But, like, for the people who do, that's a big win for those people. That he knows about the Flash TV show and, like, more in-depth stuff outside of just bare basics.
Right.
So,
And
also,
even then,
go
people
ahead.
were
Jake.
thinking that, like, if, say, on, like, the 1 and insert number here chance that he is the DCU Flash, it's not as if it's going to be that Flash. Like, he's not going to play that.
It's going to be a different Flash. Yeah, it's going to be a different variant.
And I've said this, too, and I think this would honestly be more applicable now that they've introduced that whole thing with the mural. Make it, do like a prequel, Justice Society World War II movie, and have Grant play a Prime Age Jay Garrick.
I don't know if he'd want to, though, because, like, in every interview, he's like, no, it has to be Barry Allen. I want Barry Allen. Like,
Fair enough,
man.
I'm
I was
just
like,
saying.
all right. I also agree, though. That's what I would do as well.
Yeah.
Because that would be a good way to continue the whole thing of legacy casting, where they had, first John as Barry, then Jay, well, Barry, then Henry, then Jay. But it would be the same sort of thing.
Any final thoughts on the episode before we move on from this, or no? Good. Okay. Lone Wolf with the $2 super chat. Image of Clayface drop DMU on Twitter. Yeah, I've got that in my tabs already. We are going to get to that. There's so much stuff to talk about, but we've gotten through the major topics now, so everything else is going to be small topics. We will get to that though. But thank you so much.
Yeah. We still have a list to do.
Yeah, Staggervore. Unless you guys want to postpone it until Thursday. It depends on how tired everybody is. Really, it's up to everybody
Doesn't
else.
matter to me.
Staggervore coming through with 4 99-cent super chats. I believe that means we've hit our. Do we hit our goal? Yeah, we hit our goal. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And King Ryburn here contributed as well, 99 cents to hit our goal. Thank you so much. So we had our goal on Reloaded. We are 3 out of 5 on Debunks, which will give you guys another bonus stream from me. So if you'd like to see another bonus stream, we're 2 super chats away on that channel. One of them here is from Columbia Enrique in New York, another $5 super chat. Thank you so much for this. What Peacemaker is going through because he lost his brother, he killed his dad, kills himself. Also in Otherworld, he's taken seriously as a hero. It's refreshing. Yeah, but we talked about it. I think what we're seeing is the good parts of that world. Yeah. I think there's another shoe that's going to drop in the Otherworld. So we're getting the good stuff, but the next episode, we're going to find out more about this other Earth. And I think we're going to find out that even though the characters are good, the world is not good.
I think they might wait a little bit longer.
You think so?
I think the first couple episodes at least is going to be, at least next episode is the perfect world. It is like candy, it's like Candyland, everything's perfect and awesome and amazing, and I need to be here. And I think we're slowly going to see little hints at it throughout the season.
So you think it's going to go from a utopia to a dystopia?
I do. I think Chris is going to be very blinded by this.
Like, it might even be a situation where just where they live is good and everything else is shit. That could be a possibility. Like, they live in a pocket part of the world where it's like everything is perfect, but then everyone else on the outside is living in poverty and there's no superheroes and it's ran by criminals or something. Like,
that might hit a little too close to home for some people.
I mean, my whole Nazi theory would make kind of sense in that aspect where it's like, well, we're better, so we're up here, and then everyone down there is like, like below us kind of stuff. Like that could be.
Also, what if in that universe, again, I'm not going to spoil it for Jake who hasn't seen it or others, but like, all right, maybe Chris's personal life isn't that wrecked as it is in the main one, but what if that comes at a cost that, like, we're in that world, that dimension, him and Adrian aren't friends.
Oh.
Him and Adrian are probably enemies. And maybe Adrian did become a lawyer and like lost stuff, and like they go full comic book. Like I feel like it's too big of an opportunity to not to miss it intentionally, And who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah.
Adrian Chase moonlighting as a law official. Where have I seen that?
Columbia Rican here with the $2 super chat, I guess clearing up the comment. I'm referring on Peacemaker's character development. Yes, on that end, 100%. Like him getting a chance to experience the things that he never experienced growing up and things that he's experiencing as an adult are definitely refreshing because he's had such a shit life. But I think the tragic thing about this character is that James Gunn is not going to give him that happy ending yet. I think that he's going to still have to struggle through everything. Because think about this. If he goes to that Earth, everything is perfect for him. His dad's there. His brother's there. He's a hero. He's part of a hero team with his family. He's got a good relationship, somewhat good relationship with Harcourt, even though sort of it didn't work out because of another guy or whatever. But still, they're not in the same position they're in on the main continuity. All of those things are good things for him. So there has to be something else. Because otherwise, he would stay there and he would never come back. He would never come back. He would just take over for the other Peacemaker and stay there. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. I think Darren's assessment of that is pretty accurate. I think we're going to get like another shoe dropping at some point. By the way, Cameron, it's okay. It's okay. I get it. Like some people don't have the ability to do something. I never want anybody to feel compelled to do it because I am saying like, let's reach the goal or whatever. You can let other people chip in and do it sometimes. Like it's just not really, it's not a super big problem if people can't do it that way. I don't think of people differently. I get it. Like life is different for everybody.
Do you think, just for like really quickly, you could pull up Jonathan's comment from a couple comments ago?
Yeah, I do want to say this though. Fetman kind of confirms like what you were saying is that it's like a monkey paw situation where he gets what he wants, but there's a catch. You said Jonathan?
Yeah, Jonathan about the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff. I think it's kind of interesting.
Right here.
Oh, Chloe Bennett? Yeah.
Yeah, the Chloe Bennett interview.
I mentioned this as well. Matter of fact, I have it over here. I can pull it up on screen because we're done with, unless people want to super chat, we can continue doing it. But I had it ready over here. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I don't have it ready. Maybe I lied. Okay, we can talk about it anyway. 3Dub and I mentioned it before everybody jumped in that she said that that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. should have been a part of Secret Invasion and that it would have been better with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in it. I agree 1,000%. If there's a larger percentage than that, 1,000,000%, I totally agree with that. Like, I have no problem with that whatsoever. I think she was telling the truth.
And like, I think the biggest thing that's kind of like really pissing me off is all the outlets. They are misquoting her, and almost every clickbaity article I've seen, where they're all like, "Chloe Bennett confirms Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't canon to the MCU." Where if you listen to her quote, what she said is they don't consider Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. canon, but it is. And it's so weird that she literally says the opposite of what all the clickbait titles once said them to think. They're like, oh, she finally confirms it's non-canon. It's like, no, she said the opposite.
I mean, no, like it tied into the films. Like there are literal episodes in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where they are cleaning up from the events of Winter Soldier, from Dark World. It's like they tie into the films.
I'm going to pull this up for Darren because I think Darren probably wants to respond to this right here. No disrespect to her, but she wouldn't stand out on the show.
She would have been the best part of the show.
Secret Invasion, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Are you kidding?
I'm gonna let Darren because I know Darren is a massive fan of that
storyline.
She first of all, the show in 5 minutes. Jesus.
First of all, she would have been a really okay. So, and Anthony, I'm not. You can have your own opinion. I'm not trying to get you to change your mind or whatever.
Yeah.
But we're talking about a character that destroyed the Earth. You know what I mean? Like. I think that even with all of the powers that would have been acquired through the Kree stuff, she would have been a very good counter to anything that Gia, whatever her name is.
I think she could have beat Gaia. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like Quake is an underrated character in the MCU, and I can't believe that I don't know. We did get a super chat here from Sylvanas, $10. This is so funny. Thank you so much, Silhouette Animator. Got paid. Okay, congratulations on getting paid. Thank you for the super chat. Also, I think it's a variation on Earth X. There's mainly white people in that alt world, if not all white, and the German provocation of Bloodhaven in that 1940s U.S. made peace with Germany. Oh my gosh. Do we think this is going to be the storyline? Because I can see everything that's being said here and going, yeah, this is This seems legitimately like what might be happening.
I don't know how far they're going to dive into it, right? I'm not sure if they're going to go into that much specific detail of like why they're racist and why it's so shit. But maybe
in the comics, Chris's dad is a member of the Sith-like.
Okay.
In the comics, he is. So like, I kept saying it. Why are you saying it that way? And I was like, oh, it's probably because from South and Midwest and shit and whatnot. Like I was like, all right. That's probably why, but like that would be a swing. That would be a swing.
Man, Darren, maybe they should have done that for Arrowverse Earth X.
I mean, maybe we'll get I don't know, what kind of cameo could we get? The Ray shows up, and we're like, oh shit,
God.
it's crazy.
The Ray are like their version of Red Tornado.
Citizen Steel? I mean, no, sorry, Citizen Cold.
Cold, yeah.
$5 super chat for Silhouette Animator clarifies it. Pronunciation, god dang iMac. God dang it. It makes me think of King of the Hill. iMac autocorrect.
Oh, Bobby. Just the two options, right, Eric?
Yeah.
Right?
No, this is for the poll. In the private chat, this is for people on the stream. In the private chat, drop like a couple of options for the poll. I'm going to put it up for people to choose tonight, not for what we're doing. We'll figure that out in a moment. We have like one more thing that I had in the stream title, I think. Hold on, let me double check. The Clayface stuff. Right, we want to look at that. So first though, let's do this quickly. So Disney will pay $10 million penalty for allowing children data to be collected on YouTube videos. Somebody posted this in the Nerdcast suggestions, and I looked into it. Let me tell you guys what I found out, because this is kind of wild here. So Disney just cut a $10 million check to the FTC. Why? Because of kids' data and YouTube ads. This is a case every parent and content creator should pay attention to. Disney violated COPPA and failed to label hundreds of kid-friendly videos as made for kids on YouTube. So this caused these issues where data from 13-year-olds and under were collected and given targeted ads on YouTube, which is a big, big no-no. That's a big no-no on YouTube to do that. So they had to pay for this. And here's the crazy thing. It's not just the targeted ad, right? So it's a $10 million fine. They get a 10-year slap on the wrist compliance program for labeling content, which means if they make another mistake, they can lose their entire channel on YouTube. And now they also have to get parental consent before collecting any data. So they have to add that in. And this is the significance of this is the first FTC action against a YouTube content provider since 2019. So this is since the whole AdGate thing happened back in 2019. This is the first company to have that happen. So YouTube and Disney made a huge, huge mistake. Do I think they did it on purpose? No, but the person who was in charge of their channel fucked up royally. Hundreds of videos that were incorrectly labeled. I don't know about this one. That's pretty crazy. Next up quickly, this. Warwick Davis will return as Professor Flitwick in HBO's Harry Potter series. Now, I've got some notes over here. This is kind of interesting.
I mean, I'm sure he's only going to have a tiny role.
Yeah, but like this is the thing. There's a lot of criticism here. Wait, hold on. I know, I got it. This is the first actor from the original films to reprise a role that's been announced, right?
Yeah,
and it was announced on Back to Hogwarts Day.
Because they've speculated, even though it hasn't been confirmed, that they might bring Felton back.
Yeah, but it says here, this is some of the criticism I'm reading online, is that fans are upset. They feel like that this show is going to be a cheap carbon copy of the other movies because it's not going. They said it was supposed to be more book oriented, but things like costumes and character designs and stuff like that, it all feels very samey as the films were. Everything down to like just overall designs of characters.
Based on what?
Based on pictures from filming, where you see Hagrid looking exactly the same as he does in the movies.
You got the same coat and all.
They adapted it into the movies based on how the books described it. So.
That's not what's happening, though. These are like literal copies of the costume designer. People have come out and said these are our designs being repurposed on the TV show. So it's not like taking it from the books. It's literally taking it from the people that designed it from the movies. So even though it's based on the book, it's like a copy of a design that already exists. And now they're bringing in actors from the movies too.
Isn't the original like costume designs from the books too? So it's like basically the copying from a copy from a copy.
Okay, so let me make this clear here, right?
I get what you're saying.
Right. So you cannot, or you should not, put it this way, ethically, and there is some legal shit that you might have to jump through to get this as well, but we'll see. Take someone else's actual design and use it in something else, even if that person's design was based on a book. You have to change it to make it your own. And I know something as simple as like, oh, well, there was one stitch difference or whatever. When we're talking about the overall look, it literally looks like the same design.
Imagine if Hogwarts looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like, because here's the thing, I like the Potterverse as a fan. I haven't read all the books. I like it. It's not my main thing, but I was like, I don't know how you're gonna top, Hogwarts. Because
I agree.
Very much that castle and all that stuff. And like,
well, they're not going to. They're just going to copy.
And like, if they did it the same, you would have people complaining that it looked the same. If they did it different, you would have people complaining that it was different. So
I think this is an overcorrection. In my opinion, I think this is an overcorrection to the criticism of like some of the casting they had. Because remember the Black Snape controversy? Like that was a big deal. So
that's
it seems
the
like
only one that's been criticized, really.
No, it is, but it is. But the problem is that was such a huge controversy. This seems like them going, well, we need to make everything else as similar as possible. You know what I mean?
Why wasn't that just kind of your goal from the get-go?
Because I guess they were trying to do something new and they found out people didn't want new and they went back on what they were trying to do originally. So also there was the drama around Hermione. I know it wasn't huge, but it was still drama around that as well. About her being like
for the show or for the play?
No, for the show, because she's from a mixed background.
Oh, okay. I remember they gave her shit for the play. I'm like, guys.
The only thing that they constantly use to describe the character in the books, and I'm rereading them right now, the only thing that they use to describe the character in the books constantly is a bushy mane of brown hair. They never once go into her skin.
Well, people that are racist don't care about that.
They don't care about that.
Why are they giving the little girl like shit for being like cast?
Because they're awful people. 3Dub. They're awful people.
Why not throw that shit to the people that cast her? I mean that should be like directed to the right people.
Because shit rolls downhill. That's the problem. If they're attacking her casting as a kid, she's going to eventually see that online.
Yeah.
Which is why me and Darren have been saying keep them off the internet.
Keep them off the internet. I'd throw the hate to the parents, to be honest, because this is a whole other conversation. But like putting your kid in is almost always a bad choice. Almost in every scenario. Just like I think kid acting as a whole is something that we should, if we can, move past for the most part. And I know there are situations where you need them, but like it almost always messes up your children. And hopefully we can get to a point where it's better. It's a better situation. We have so many horrible stories.
I don't want this to be another Jake Lloyd situation.
Yeah, I don't want that either. No.
I really hope they have really, really good things in place to keep those kids safe, to keep them protected.
Make an environment. Like, yeah. Like
Especially
here's another thing. Do an enhancement
show.
of what we got out of the movies. Like make sure that the kids feel like they're still kids. Like even though they're acting, like make sure they you
right. Like don't take their childhoods away from them.
No.
Make this school for them, basically. Like I think this isn't like a movie where it's like, okay, we do one movie and a couple years we do another. This is a 10-year-long investment. This is going to be their entire childhood from now until like I assume 18, 19, 20 in those eras of their lives. So it's like
Silhouette Animator with a $5 super chat says, watch the set design be the same for the reboot Harry Potter Earth 2.
That's what what's weird, Eric. You brought up the whole thing about like the costume and whatnot. I just kept thinking like, and again, I don't know why I went to this, but I remember when they were doing the making of Rebels before the show was coming out, just like what we're gonna do with Rebels for Star Wars is that at one point Dave Filoni was like, oh yeah, we're now leaning into a New Hope era, which is what I grew up with.
Right.
But what they're doing, and I still give him kudos to, is that like the X-wings we see in the movies in the original trilogy, they're repurposed more from what Ralph McQuarrie had designed conceptually. They're a little bit more finesse, they're more designed differently. And I love what they've said and for Rebels, like, listen, the X-wing we see in the movies, that's later down the line. What did we do just the concept art and just bring that to life in 3D?
Right.
So, and be like, you still need to like fix it up later for the movies, but this is from this era that predates it. And it's like, this is what I felt like, you know what? Stay true to the source, but also know that like stay true to the source, but you can't do what the movies are doing. At least that's my perspective. It's just like you can't do what the movies are doing.
Do something new.
Because
I can't put Pagey's comment up here though, because he knows that it's a word that if I put it up on screen, YouTube will slap my ass for it. So we're not. I see him in the chat though.
Wingardium Leviosa.
So
that's what happens to it, Ronan.
Spectre Patronum.
So I put up the options in the poll. We are still 4 out of 5 super chats now over on the Debunks channel. One more, and that's another bonus stream. We still got 37 minutes to hit that one. So I think we can do it. It's any tier, but we've already hit it on the Reloaded channel. So here are the options for the poll. All right. We have top 5 best 80s movies. I think you guys know who said that.
Jake.
Top 5 best comic book artist. Top 5 best non-comic book artist. So I guess it would be Disney and all that other stuff. And top 5 sexiest comic book characters.
Oh God.
That is it's super subjective, and it was suggested in the Discord, so we put it up there. So that's one of the options.
You're gonna get us canceled there.
I know. It's subjective though. It's not negative. You'd be like, I think that character's hot. You know, it's gooning season. Paigey goes. It was on a flight the other day, and the flight attendant literally looked like a multiverse Eric, trippy as whatever. I'm not gonna even go there. So. Silhouette animator with $5 super chat. Sexiest comic book character, 100% is Gambit. That's a fact.
Mon ami.
So there we go. All right. I'm not gonna give any of my answers yet because I'm gonna wait and see if the poll happens. So
all I'll say is Gambit has great taste in women.
Oh, there we go. King Ryburn with another 99-cent super chat, just contributing to the channel. Thank you so much for your super chat.
Me and Ronan basically just had a novella flashback.
Oh yeah. Like I mean, out of all those choices, I'll say this from my part: the non-comic book artist is the one where like I don't know who the fuck I would choose one out. So
yeah.
What in the world? I'm gonna pick 5 UA characters for the Gooning one for sure.
Oh, UA. I have no idea who the UA characters are.
Columbia Rican New York with a $5 super chat. Okay, this one's really interesting one. This could start a whole nother discussion. I know Darren's not going to stick around for. You said you had to go for the comic book storyline.
Yeah, I'll
topic.
probably skip out on the comic.
Okay. Speaking of Star Wars, do you think the Ryan Gosling Star Wars movie playing Lyco Strata from the Tales of the Underground? Any thoughts on this?
That's a deep cut.
Very deep cut.
I doubt it, just because. Hold on, God damn it.
He's like, why is there something good coming up as a chat when I'm eating at the moment?
It's like poor timing.
So Sean Levy has said that like this is new story, new stuff and whatnot. So I don't think he's gonna be pulling like deep stuff from the EU. Maybe even design stuff. I don't think he might do. Which is kind of good because it's post episode 9, so you got to look to the future. What's something that we haven't seen yet that can build on for new design?
Galaxy's fucking huge. There's so much you can do.
Yes, that is a deep cut.
Star Wars saga is not limited to the Skywalker.
So you don't, based on his comments, we collectively don't think he's going to pull from anything. It's going to be like a new thing altogether.
Yeah,
a shotgun lightsaber. That's what we're going to get.
So it's not so much to say whether he won't. I think what we're all in agreement in is that he shouldn't.
Probably for that part, yeah. Like he said he doesn't want to be part of something that's connected when he wants to do his own thing, which I respect.
Kind of like Ryan Johnson did his own thing.
Yeah, that helps. Well, I have my
I
thoughts
think
on that.
If there's any kind of anything, I think would be from the sequel trilogy instead of anything before that, like because that is in that era, and they're building towards whatever the heck they're building towards. They're building towards something, right? And that's going to be bringing back elements from the sequel trilogy. So sounds good to me.
I would hold off that character, Columbia Rican, for what Dave and John are doing, because they're the ones who will like pull those deep cuts and use them in, like, again, we got fucking Cobb Vanth, like, and that's a character from the books, like from the most recent books, and they got fucking Timothy Oliphant to play him, and like I expect that more from their side than any other side. And who knows, if you do stories from the past, you can pull that from that as well. But I think in this instance, it'll be new characters, which I'm just as excited and thrilled as I am for the Mandalorian Grogu.
I think you need, and this is coming from my POV, who's very casual Star Wars. I don't know shit that is in the movies. Like I'm very just casual. What's in front of me is what I know. I would be very excited if it is just very standalone. We're telling a story with these characters here. We're not doing anything. That's why I loved Mando season 1 so much. It's like I felt like I was finally part of something because I didn't have to know all of these planets and characters and lore and lightsabers. It's like, oh, he's hanging out with this kid. He's going planet to planet. That's super fun. And I think they need to replicate that again. I think they just need to
Star Wars needs that.
You know, just go forward with new stuff. I think is that
family vacation. Star Wars, the family vacation.
There's enough space and money from studios to do the stuff, the deep nerdy stuff, and then enough space
and other stuff
and to create new, because I wanted to see new stuff. Again, I like the sequel movies. I have my thoughts, but it would have been nice beyond just creatures to get more new designs for that world that they can build on, and like be like, all right, that's the new iconic thing for the sequel era, and hopefully Sean gets to push that button post episode 9. And
right,
I've said it. We after what it's gonna be almost 50 years in 2027. After 50 years of Star Wars, we've just tipped the iceberg. There's still a lot for us to grow with this universe, which is why I tell people, go watch Star Wars Visions. Go watch the Tales anthology series. There's so much more stuff out there. And I love the Skywalker stuff and, Rebels and Mando stuff. But then I also want new stuff as well. I want compliment, which is why I was open to the Acolyte, which is why I was open to Andor. Like, there's plenty of room for everybody to try out what they can do in Star Wars.
Remember back in the day when they stopped like at 6 and thought that was like like 1, 2, and 3, and
did you say stopped at sex?
6.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute, what?
Stopped at 6 and was like, that's it. And then they were like 1, 2, and 3, and then that was it. And then like nothing for like almost 10, 20 years. And then we got 7, 8, and 9. Imagine like what are you happy that they're starting to expand the universe, or you kind of wish it was still like stopped at 1, 2, and 3?
I think, and they've been expanding.
Yeah, I think there's plenty of space to both expand and bring up stuff that is very, I don't want to say niche, but very like deep stuff there. Like, there's great material in the books between the movies that's come out, and those authors and artists should be compensated well if their ideas are being used for the new stuff and being repurposed. Like the one I think of right now is Thrawn. I hope Timothy Zahn is getting paid well for bringing that character out, because he's just such a good concept and idea to bring in now and shake things up, even for those who don't know who he is. Like that's a cool thing where, like, if you know who he is, you're like, oh shit, this is a big deal, and he has valid validity of him being a threat. But if you don't know who he is, oh boy, wait till you watch what goes down in the next few years with Star Wars stories with him. So I think there's a bit of both. And to Columbia Rican's next,
I was gonna say this comment here. If you want to read this out, Ronan, because I feel like you're what you want to talk about it. So go ahead.
We still missing Cal Kestis and Asajj Ventress from live action. Saw Gerrera literally interacted with and fought alongside Cal Kestis and other Jedi. I agree, and I'll just say that, like, I'm not gonna say that because I don't want people to get in trouble. That, like, people are aware that like those two characters are fan favorites, and they're not getting any. Said actresses or actors are not getting any younger, any sooner.
I mean, the actor that they used in the actual game could be
Cameron
the actor
Monaghan.
for the live action.
You know who else we've been missing in live action for a while? Is one of my favorite characters that got introduced from like all the other side lore that's not the movies. Savage Press. Please give me that character.
Yeah.
I want to see him in live action.
Yeah.
I want to see Darth Vader's apprentice.
Starkiller?
Starkiller, yeah.
God damn it, Darren.
Just give me more Jar Jar. Come on.
More Jar Jar?
Give me more Jar Jar. Give me 20 spin-offs.
I
need it.
Jar Jar as a Darth Sidious would be funny.
Have you guys seen the impression of this guy who does Morgan Freeman's voice?
No.
Read lines as Jar Jar as Morgan Freeman?
Yes.
No, that sounds great, though.
It is.
All right. We still got.
I want a bongo.
I feel like we're overloaded with topics tonight. It's crazy. Thank you guys so much for like super chatting. I do appreciate it. All right. Quickly, because it is one of the things in the title, I want to update everybody on the Snoop Dogg controversy. If you remember, we talked about him on the podcast or whatever. Okay. So, no, this is very quick. It's not going to take up a lot of time, but I do want to talk about it. So, anybody that doesn't remember, on the podcast, I think it was was it last week? Did we talk about it last week? I think it was last week. But it's Giving podcast. He talked about Lightyear, and he was scared to go to the movies. He didn't know how to explain it to his kids. And then there was a lot of backlash from it. And then on his Instagram, essentially, he was like, my bad. I was just caught off guard. Teach me how to learn, and sort of walked it back a little bit. You know what I mean? Like he was like, I was misunderstood. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, people say dumb shit. It sucks. But at least he recognized it was a problem, and I was willing to give him a shot. But then his PR team came out and said that the apology was fake, that it wasn't real. And now it's been deleted from his Instagram.
Bruh.
Is his PR team sharing in his weed?
I'm not sure what's happening. It doesn't make a lot of sense, honestly. I was like, what? Any thoughts on this? I mean, it's not a lot, but do you think that they're like trying to figure out what the public wants him to do, and he's just going to do whatever the public says? Or does he actually give a shit? I mean, I don't even know at this point.
That's why when I heard that, I felt that was very reactive. And I don't know if it was genuine or not. I want to hope it's genuine. But then now the PR team's saying, Control Z, and it's just like, you're killing me, dog. You're killing me.
I don't know.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Look, when we watched the clip, I was like, okay, he's playing it up for the camera. Like, he was playing it up for the audience, right? But he took it too far, and it got into like weird homophobic territory. And then it's like, okay, this is weird. And then he's like, hey, my bad, I fucked up. And it's like, okay, I personally accept your apology. Show me what you're going to do to like fix it, because you said some dumb shit. And then his PR team's like, wait, hold on. The Snoop D-O-double-G didn't say that. That was some other person on his verified account that posted that out. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what the fuck is going on? So I guess we'll talk about it more when we get to it. All right.
There's just like really quickly, like there's a bit of like reverse cancel culture that's been going on this last year, I'd say.
Yeah.
Where it's like the other side is like, what are you doing? Don't apologize for that. Own it. And like they're almost canceling people
who got canceled,
apologizing for being canceled. Yeah,
it's like double. It's a double cancel. You're getting canceled by two groups of people at that point. Yeah. I've always said this is how I feel about, and I want to state this here because I think it's important to get it out there, because I know a lot of people have asked me my opinions on this. Depending on what level of awful shit you did, I feel like everyone should be given an opportunity to correct their mistake. If they realize they made a mistake and they want to correct that mistake, I'm totally okay with that. There are some things, obviously, that are so awful that someone cannot be given that same grace. You have to decide what that bar is. But for me, most social faux pas moments can be corrected with some sort of like acknowledgement and like trying to do better.
You have to show that, like, that's the tough thing with social media. It's like there's no like timeout period, right? Like for any other thing, let's say, you do a crime and then you go to jail, right? That happens.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so that's
Do
how
the
you've
time.
shown your step away, and then hypothetically, you should be able to come back and try and start fresh. That's the idea.
Right.
There's not really a time limit with cancel culture. There's not like, oh, I did this bad thing, I'm gonna step away and then coming back. It's like there's no control over that narrative, which makes it hard to be like, oh, you're good again. Okay, cool. And I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you put those.
I mean,
limitations down.
I mean, we'd have to take a look at some of the people who have managed to come back from cancel culture. I mean, James Gunn is a good example of someone that was canceled and came back.
But what's weird is that I always tell folks
someone
that
that-
yes, he apologized. That's the thing that was weird.
Right.
That he apologized before even by the time he got hired for Guardians.
Yeah.
Like and I look, it's ironic you said him because I've been rewatching some of his old interviews. Looks completely different, talks completely different, and his manners are very different. And
Robert Downey Jr. would be someone that society would have canceled.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't actually at that point cancel culture, but that's essentially what it was.
Right.
Hey, what about Hart? Wait, never mind.
Oh no, I was gonna say
He
Mel
vanished.
Gibson. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, I try with I fucking try so much with Mel, and like once in a while he'll just say something to him, then I'm like, God damn it, Mel. Like, the fuck you doing, dude? You make good movies. Like, anyway,
I just
tough.
all I need to see from someone, for me personally, and a lot of times it's not even me personally, it's like societal, right? Like it's like an entire group of people. All I need to see is that someone is trying to do better, and that's enough for me to be like, yeah, I'm going to give them an opportunity. And I know that's not everybody's response. Some people are like, fuck that person, they're gone, bye-bye, canceled. Like, I get it. That might be some people's opinion on it. But I feel like we cannot justify cancel culture if there's no path to redemption. Because I feel like there should be a path to redemption for people that actually want to change and get better. Because otherwise we're just exiling them and they're never going to have an opportunity to make it up or fix any of their problems. And then that makes people less likely to admit that they've done something wrong. If people think that there's no redemption, they're never going to be accountable for anything they do.
And I try not to be reactive. Like the one thing I'll never forget it when the whole Johnny Depp and Amber Heard shit went down. I went, whoa. And then I went, wait a minute. Let's see. And people were swinging more towards Amber's side. And then I just kept looking at it. I'm like, I don't know. This dude is very introverted when he's doing interviews. He does a lot of like charity stuff. I'm like,
yeah.
Could he, and then when stuff stopped popping up during the courts and the hearings and whatnot, the trials, if you will, and how much he was drinking and doing drugs, and he fully admitted it. That like, I'm trying to do better. And then you see her angle, what she was saying and how she was leaning into it. I'm like, no. And so I'm like, I remember just being like, thank God I wasn't overreactive and just started saying, fuck all that and whatnot. And like, again, another one is Will Smith.
That's true. I forgot about that.
Happening.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I hope, stuff gets improved and whatnot. But that was just, and he won that same night, and I was pretty sure he was going to win the night. And then he gave a speech, and it's just like,
what are we doing? Like, what's the vibe was off on that one, 100%.
The list goes on. I mean, like, this is a loaded one to get into, but I mean, Ezra Miller's another one.
Yeah. Yep.
You want to fight, bro?
Like, everybody, that's the thing. Everybody has got a skeleton in a closet somewhere. No one's past is checker free. That doesn't mean someone is the same person as they were from whenever they made that mistake. Yeah. However badly the internet wants to paint that narrative.
I don't know. I mean, for me, there's levels. Like, if somebody has assaulted someone or done something that's like a little bit more than just they said a bad thing or they posted a mean tweet, I tend to be a little bit harder on them in terms of accountability because they have to win me back a little bit more than that.
For me, I'm a little.
Just look at any of them and you're like, you got to do better, celebrity. You got to step up.
Yeah.
For me, I the one I won't forgive is one of the Rangers from Wild Force who killed his roommate.
Oh yeah, that's definitely that's a non.
Well, yeah, that's a different level of.
Yeah, like that's like cancel culture. That's literally like an actual crime. So
arson.
That's like a Chris Benoit situation.
Yeah, for me, cancel culture is basically saying dumb shit or participating in dumb shit that you're like, I was stupid. I didn't mean to do that. I will do better. And then not doing better. Like, that's what cancel culture is to me. Like, you have to do better in a lot of ways.
I have such a complicated relationship with cancel culture and stuff like that, because like, as someone in the queer community, I grew up in a household where I wasn't always. And like, I saw things differently for the first several years of my life. And then it kind of clicked to me. And like, I want people to be able to have that same amount of, I guess, comeback of like the ability to be able to like, oh fuck, I'm doing this wrong. How do I move forward? How do I change that direction? But after various current events this year, it's made me be like, I'm giving people too many opportunities.
No, I agree with you. I think that like there has to be a limit on how much rope you're going to give them, how much room that you're going to give them, how much space you're going to give them. I think there needs to be a little bit of like, and that comes down to personal feelings. And like on an individual level, I think we can all decide like how far we're willing to go. Right. On a professional level though, like in terms of like actors and stuff like that, I think they are the ones that can do the most good because they can show that you can change who you are. It's not like a relationship with a friend or something like that. These are people that are on camera. These are people that are doing interviews, these people on the red carpet, going to award shows. There's things they can do to do better. And whether people want to admit it or not, celebrities still influence culture. They're still part of culture in that way. And a lot of times if they're on social media, they're an even bigger part of culture than just like your average like movie star or whatever. Anyway, let's move on to these next couple topics quickly here. We got Batman Part 2 begins filming in April of 2026.
Yay.
So estimated release date will be sometime in 2027-ish. Somewhere around there.
Let him cook.
I think it's like, what is it?
Stop busting his chops, y'all.
Yeah, I think it's good.
As long as there's not something in the way.
Well, I mean, I still stand by 2028. That's the year that I think we're going to get this movie, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I'm going to be in my early 30s. Fuck.
It's going to be like a big kind of back and forth of whether that gets prioritized over like DCU Batman or not.
Yeah, that's true. I think DCU Batman would take priority over that, and they would shift it because it doesn't make any sense for a movie that isn't chronologically tied to anything to get priority over something that is.
I think that's why we're getting Clayface, because I think they know.
like they want to get the DCU going, and like be it beyond just one big project. They want to get it going. Not to say that they don't want to, put focus on the Elseworld stuff, but they want this to be like they want this to get going before they start shifting focus to that.
I think, not to jump into the topic way before you get into it, but I think Clayface is going to be slightly bigger than I think people realize. I do think Clayface is going to establish what the world of Batman looks like, even if we don't get a direct "he's here" moment. I think we're going to get hints of it.
Yeah, because you got like all those Gotham scenes and shots in the phosphorus episode of Commandos, even with like a Batman cameo. And I'm guessing I can't remember who I told this to. It might have been Ronan and Darren, but give Batman a similar sort of role where you see him like from the shadows and he's there. Hell, if you want to go the extra mile, but not the full extra mile, have him be the antagonist of that movie. Like have him operating in the shadows in that urban legend sort of style, but to where he's obviously real, but you can't see him yet, so you don't have to cast anybody in the role yet. Just have a random stunt dude in the suit and just put him back in the shadows, maybe show like a pair of white eyes, and then have him kind of like what they did in the finale of Gotham, where you see him just in the shadows while the other stuff's going on, so he's there, and you kind of have that ticking thought in the back of your mind of like, is he going to pop up at any point and just, screw with this? Mm-hmm. Or is it going to be like the Penguin where you see the signal at the end and you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Let's just talk about what we know about this before we get too deep in it because it's sitting on screen. So let's go ahead. Yeah. Clayface is filming right now. We have some shots we're going to look at here in a second. Written by Mike Flanagan and Hossein Amini and directed by James Watkins. Inspired by the Feet of Clay episodes in Batman the Animated Series.
Episodes.
And this is going to be September of next year.
I don't know about
October.
I don't know about that release date though. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's rough.
Face or
No, the release date for this movie.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet. No. Oh, not to me. It's 9/11.
It's not 11.
Oh,
I don't know about that.
Oh wow.
Well, that aside, we're gonna look at the close-up shot here of the makeup that's being done on
all
set.
right.
This looks pretty gnarly. Is this rated R? Is it a rated R movie?
I kind of
assume so.
I kind of hope so.
I think
kept
so.
saying body horror, and like, how do you know?
I think it is R. Yeah.
If it's like The Thing, you gotta go R.
I don't know. I thought of Darkman when I saw this image. Hey, listen. I wouldn't be in character if I didn't make that comparison. I wouldn't be me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love the vibe of this. And Darren, you were saying you think this is going to be a pretty big hit. Well, you want to drop a little bit of thoughts on that, like on why?
Yeah, I mean, I do think it might be the best comic.
The best what?
The best
Comic book movie.
Yeah, I think
of next year.
Of next year, yeah. Not necessarily my most anticipated.
Supergirl be damned, I would guess.
I think just because how quickly this went into development.
Yeah.
Right, we heard nothing. There was no hints at this, and then they were like, "It is happening. We have a date. We're going to start filming in a couple of months." Like this was like this.
Confident.
I think that script had to have been gold. I think they were like, "Oh, you're cooking with this one. All right, let's get this in here. Let's get this in." And then on top of what I already said, I think they know. I'm not getting the Batman for a minute.
I just double checked. The budget on this is under $40 million.
Yeah.
That's another reason why it's going to do huge.
There it is.
It's going to be.
There it is, boys.
It's going to be easy.
Opening weekend, it's got it. You know what I mean? Like
mid-budget movies.
Yeah. This is what Hollywood has been missing. This is what Hollywood has been missing.
What have I been saying, guys?
That's the key right there. That's the key. It's easy to earn that back when it's low budget.
What have I
I
been
swear,
saying?
like, if I ever saw this guy looking like that on the street, I'd be like, "Are you okay, buddy?"
Ronan, what?
What have I been saying? I fucking want a $20 million, $30 million The Question movie or like miniseries like that. Like it's possible, y'all. You don't have to go to the bank for the big, borrow. Like you don't have to do that.
Same thing for Ted Grant. It's easy money.
Yes,
it's low
easy.
budget.
It's a box. You could go to a boxing movie and like just lean into it. Like, oh man. Oh.
I think there's also
that would drag in like a lot of your old Rocky fans. That would get them into it.
There's also a bigger picture here, right? If this movie does well, both Marvel and DC will start picking up these like mid-range films and doing them.
Right, and because that's what got them their success back in the day. Blade, all the way back in 1998, was a low-budget movie, but it was a hit. They made a good movie out of it. And they did it with a C-list character. And and working with
they're not going to do it now. But you know what they could have done with Marvel, Jake? They could have done a Hawkeye and Black Widow movie for like low budget.
They could.
It would have been a hit.
I would have liked to see
do
what happened. I would have loved to see what happened with Black Widow and Hawkeye.
Exactly. Everybody wanted to see that.
Just do it now. I don't care. It's fine.
I mean, like again, like if every character in the DCU has a budget of $100 million to the projects, then something is fucking wrong. Then like we are not. Then we have a very narrow perspective on just budgeting and putting something on it. And again, I think this will also attract young, fresh talent, both in front and behind the camera. They're saying that like we don't have to be pressured, to deliver X, Y, and Z numbers. Just bring in quality. And the DC universe, for anybody who's watching this, hearing this, is big. It is big. Jake and I have been hearing me saying this. The old school Sandman with the mask and all that stuff. I really don't want that project to be $100 million. It has to be a period piece, but there's ways you can do it without breaking the bank. I can list you 2 projects that achieve that of making a period piece under $100 million, and they've achieved accolades and money back by doing so.
I think Hollywood fundamentally has to change, and I think everyone knows that. I think Feige knows that. I think James knows that. I think all the executives. I think this year is the big breaking point. I think things like Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four and Superman, some did well, obviously, but maybe not as well as it would have, 5 years ago. It would have been like 2019. And I think everyone is sitting there being like, this isn't sustainable. if we want this industry to stay open, if we want movies and cinema to keep going, we have to change how we make the majority of it. And I think,
not putting it in front of 3 different franchises that are supposed to like be popular,
Right.
That is a big thing, yeah. And like, I'm not saying every movie has to be like this. I think Superman's a great example of a character that can have a little bit more of a budget because he is a bigger character. But yeah, you're right with Clayface. Imagine if Clayface was here, like, it's a $200 million movie. It's like, whoa. No.
Right,
He's not that kind of character.
That doesn't even account for things like marketing.
Yes.
You can't do that.
So Reed, this is what I'm saying. Like, I don't think, like, whether people are going to go and see this movie or not, I don't care if somebody is not interested in it. That's fine. You don't have to be. But if this movie gets its budget back in opening weekend and ends up making, it's a $40 million movie at the top end. If this movie leaves theaters making 150 or 200 million, that's a massive success for the studio.
Yeah, and to get more of your casuals in that like aren't fans of DC like the people on here, pitch it as like a body horror movie, kind of like the It stuff. Like, give it that similar sort of marketing pull because that'll get people in. Those movies did huge.
Those horror movies make bank like opening weekend.
And people don't know jack shit about like the stuff that they're taking place in. They're just like, hey, horror thrill experience, boom, and they sit down.
Right. Like, you look at this year's roster of like the budget, look at that. Like, Superman Fantastic Four makes sense, they have a bigger budget. But when you have this like political thriller Captain America movie that's what 180 million, way too big of a budget. You look at Thunderbolts, a team of these like super soldiers and stuff. $200 million is like, where did that go? And I understand
all that Wheaties marketing.
There's strikes and there's things that's happening, but it's like that should have been one of your lower like.
Right, it should have. It definitely should have because there's not a lot like. There's very little CG you have to do there. Florence Pugh and other people said that a lot of the stuff was practical.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's very little green screen. Like it should have been an easy win.
I'd be curious to see where it's going because I think it's just the way they're making movies. They're probably used to putting it in certain areas where I bet if they went in and were like, okay, do you need that? And it's like, well, no, but we've always done it that way.
Yeah, that's another good thing. Substance was a huge hit. Substance was a huge hit.
Substance was a massive hit. Yeah.
Clayface could be another Joker where it's like in the Oscar areas where it's like, oh, it's just
if a $40 million movie makes or close to $1 billion for the studio, they're gonna lose their fucking mind.
That's gonna like, man. Again, the thing too, and I've said this. Please, somebody take notes from the Penguin. Let your lead character be a villain.
Yeah.
Let them be a villain. Do not go the Sony route of turning them into a sympathetic anti-hero. Don't do a Morbius or a Black Adam or a Kraven or insert character here. If you're going to have the villain be the lead, stick to it.
All right, so we're going to move over to the list. Before we do that, because I know Darren's got to go. And Ronan's got to go too, right?
I wanted to see if you could pull up the photo I sent you on Twitter because it meant a lot to me that they showed this during Clayface.
Okay, but I do want to say before you go, Darren, I want to run the results of the poll so you know what we're getting into for the next stream. So, Michael here as a channel member for 13 months. Thank you so much. 100% DJ Eric. People should have a chance to get better and be better. I'm glad you feel that way too. I think in most cases that should be the goal of everyone is to let someone prove that they're changed. But I mean, we live in a society where we have to make those decisions individually and systemically. It just doesn't always go that way. But thank you for being a channel member and always being so positive and coming over here and supporting the channel. I do appreciate it. We also had I think someone became a channel member.
Is that a comment I'm getting down there? I can't tell.
Let's see. Where did it say? Someone, it popped up and said somebody became a channel member just a second ago. Whoever that was, thank you. I think it was, I don't know. I think it was just it's not showing up on my thing anymore. What were you saying, Jake, about what?
That thing from Lone Wolf. Is that a compliment down there? I legitimately can't tell right now. I don't know if comparing me to that individual is a compliment or not.
Let me find what Ronan was sharing here. I don't know. He'll have to verify that for you, or verify. He'll have to clarify.
Clarify.
Not
Man,
verify.
You are feeling a certain kind of way, aren't you?
I am. I definitely am.
Ronan. So we were talking about like a lot of that low budget stuff, and having those characters that can work in like the low dollar range. Another character that I legitimately just thought of that could be done for, Bronze Tiger.
Dude,
give me that, man. Come on, give me that.
Even in preacher mode,
Animal Man. Like, Animal Man.
I'm surprised James Gunn hasn't done something with that yet. That's a character that'd be right up his alley.
Should be at most $50 to $60 million.
Right,
Yeah.
and like that would be a low budget thing. And not to use this comparison, but it kind of fits. Deadpool is the same kind of character. And that first movie was a low budget one.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of fourth wall breaking there. Even though Warner Brothers has been deathly afraid of anything that would remotely confuse the audience. I don't know why, because the Deadpool movies are huge. Also, She-Hulk exists, but you have these things that break the fourth wall that people just they get as part of the joke, and Animal Man could work in that same sort of way.
Well, you do that the latter half. You do that later on. You don't do it in the beginning.
Right.
Guy was trying to pay his bills, and I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. Before we tackle the next couple things, Harrison here says, I can't find the option to become a member. Can it not be done on mobile? I believe it can, right? Like you hit subscribe plus on mobile.
It can be.
can it?
So if you go to someone's channel and they're live streaming like we're doing right now, and you see under the live streaming box, there should be a way to hit subscribe plus. Subscribe plus should pull up like all of the tiers. I have lower, like both channels have low tiers, like less. I think it's like $2 a month is the lowest you can go. $1.99 I think is what it is. You can click there and become a channel member. You get custom badges, emojis, early access to videos, any custom stuff that I post on the community tab. It's all there. So if you want to do that, you can do that. Thank you so much for asking, though. So King Ryburn says, I think you have to do that on Safari on mobile. Oh, I don't know how it works for sure.
I don't know
on
if
every.
I don't know if you need that search engine, but
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird though. But thank you for bringing that up. So Ronan, you wanted to mention this before we got out of the Clayface conversation.
Yeah. Look at the Memorial Park. Look at that. Like that. That just like when I woke up and I saw that, I was just like, that just lifted my heart a little bit. I'm like, there's a little shout out to Bill Finger.
I mean, the fight that had to be done to even get recognition.
Yeah.
For Bill, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
That really, again, there's other photos of people taking like maps of this Gotham, and I was just nerding out, being like, ooh, I can tell where that's at. I can tell where that's at, and like it's awesome. And again, at the beginning of the stream, we were saying, how do we feel about the DCU and the energy of this new era? I'm like, the fact that I'm getting giddy about Bill Finger getting an homage in a Memorial Park sign. The fact that I'm geeking out about a map sign for a movie that's in come out, I know where the city and the metric stuff is at. Like that is, and again, we just pitched to DC without them knowing about different like low budget stuff you can do with characters. Yeah, I don't remember a while. It's been a while since I've done that, and like it's the new era we're in.
I think it's so cool, like when you look at the roster that we're doing. Like, all right, we did Metropolis and Superman, and what that over there is like. Okay, now we're going over to Gotham.
Not the usual suspects.
A couple years we're going to Wonder Woman, and next year we have Green Lantern, and now we're going to.
And they brought up Star City already, so
yeah.
And we're doing, say we do well Peacemaker, but like that's another aspect of this. So, it feels like we're already building out this universe with so many luscious locations and characters, and they all feel different and unique and special. And it's like we've dreamed for times like this. We've dreamed of just getting anything else but Gotham City, and it feels like it's a bit of everything that people love, which is exciting.
Okay, so moving on from that, we're going to be doing our comic book storyline top 5 here. So anybody that wants to stick around for that, you can. But I do want to give a shout out to both the Reloaded and Debunks folks tonight. We hit the goal in both chats, so thank you guys so much for doing that. It means a lot. That means another bonus stream for the people over on the Debunks channel. And on the Reloaded channel, the poll is going to decide the fate. Let's see what won this week and what one of our next bonus topics will be before Darren has to step out. And we are top 5 best 80s movies won with 41%.
You guys came through.
So they did it, Jake. You finally got them to do it for you after you've been talking about it for like a month now. So they finally listened.
Yeah.
I
have to talk about one of them for a month.
I guess. So top 5 80s movies. You guys have made Jake's night, I'm sure, because he's been waiting to talk about this for a while. So that's one of our next bonus topics. And everybody on the Debunks channel, you'll be getting another bonus stream from me. So thank you guys so much for doing that, and everybody that participated and super chatted. You can still super chat if you'd like and support the channel. But thank you guys so much for hitting the goal. I do appreciate it. With that being said, we're going to do our top 5 comic book storylines. These can be anything like mini events to
Damn it, Darren.
big events or any storyline from comics from all time, essentially, is what we're going to be talking about. So this is going to be a lot of fun. If anybody has any other topics you'd like for us to talk about, you can, of course, super chat that and we'll look it up. But this is going to be the last actual topic for the stream tonight. So, but I believe Darren is going to drop out now.
I'm gonna dip. I don't feel confident enough in my comic book knowledge to add anything special to this topic, so I'm gonna let you cool cats do it, and maybe I'll listen on playback and write down names of comic book storylines. I should.
Okay. Well, thank you for hanging out, Darren. Appreciate you being here.
Take care, Darren.
I'll check you guys later.
Yeah. All right, 3Dub, are you gonna do one too, or do no?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Ronan, you're writing yours out now, I guess.
No,
okay.
I'm doing it.
Okay. All right, so we're going to do Jake's favorite thing, which is
a lot of stuff that. But was he talking about Cody Leach and Sean? Is that who he's talking about?
Yes. Yeah. Sean Chandler, I believe.
Yeah, because he brought up Sean's name earlier in the chat, and it's like I don't watch every single thing that they do, but it's cool to see that we have similar opinions.
That's cool. So this is Jake's favorite time of the night, where we spin the wheel to see who gets to go in what order.
Let me get my alcohol first.
Okay.
Kidding.
So, chat, I want you guys to say who you think is going to be first. We're going to go through these, and it's not going to take too long because only 4 of us tonight. So, let's spin the wheel and see who is the first person to drop their storylines. I have a feeling we might get some samesies. I think people are going to come up with some of the same ones. So, we'll see. Here we go. First up for the night is... Oh, Ronan is number 1.
Oh boy.
There we go.
My favorite seat.
All right, so let's put Ronan up at the top. He's number 1 there. All right. We're going to spin the wheel and see who's going to be number 2. Go ahead and drop your choices in the chat. Oh, it is me. I'm already in the right seat. Number 2 seat here. So it's me. All right, so it's always Jake and 3Dub at the end. It's almost always these two. It's always these two. All right, here we go. Oh, Jake is not last. 3Dub is last. So there we go. All right.
You should spin it again and see if it hits the line.
Yeah, we've tried that. I keep doing it every week and it never happens. So, unfortunately, because of where you're positioned at, actually, you know, we'll do it this way, and then we'll go like this, like zigzag. We'll do like a Z. It's the best way to do it, I guess. So 3Dub is last. That means here we go. So what we're doing tonight is top 5 favorite comic book storylines. The criteria is very simple. Any storyline from comics. It can even be one issue as long as it's an actual storyline that's being told. And it can be from any era. It can even be a big event thing. It can be crossovers. It can be multi-comic stories. It can be over a long period of time. As long as it is a full storyline that has a beginning and an end.
So
that is the only criteria on it.
Can you also use, like, for instance, New 52 because it's an entire story?
I mean... Are you giving away one of your answers already?
No, I'm just giving the example. So because I have one that I want. But...
The New 52 is technically a storyline. Yes.
Okay.
So, I hope that's not one of your if you can give away one of your answers.
No,
So,
it's not.
there we go.
I
All
was
right.
just giving an example of to better understand.
All right, so there we go. All right. So I guess we're gonna go ahead with Ronan. You're number one. We're gonna do round robin. So give your this for me. Mine are in no particular order. These are just my 5.
Same.
So okay.
Same.
All right.
I'm gonna go with for me. I'm gonna go with the all new Wolverine run by Tom Taylor.
Okay.
This was one of the first big like titles that I was collecting as it was coming out. It's about Laura Kinney taking on the role of Wolverine and what that comes with, how she feels about her connection with Logan, and it introduces her sister Honey Badger, and it was the first time that like in a while I was like, oh, I might like Laura Kinney just as much as I love Logan as Wolverine, and it really was like a profound series I was collecting as it was coming out. And I hope one day we get to see Daphne Keane in the yellow suit, doing that way. It is gorgeous. It has one of my favorite moments in comics where like at one point Logan is training her and he tells her, listen, you're the best at what you do, but that doesn't mean you have to do it. And it's just telling you don't have to just be a killing machine. You don't have to just kill people.
Right.
And the first arc is so good because you can tell that she has a thing with Angel, and it's like whoa, and she keeps visiting these different people to help her solve that she's been cloned, and she's now trying to protect these clones, assassins. She meets with Doctor Strange and with the Wasp, and they're all like talking about like we all knew who Logan was, and you're doing good by him and whatnot. And it's just I can't recommend it enough. Tom Taylor is one of the greatest writers, and I just tell people go read All New Wolverine.
By the way, you guys in the chat, because King Ryburn here is asking this, these could all be considered like suggested reading. Like if you want to take some of these stories and go read them, like these are like I believe we're probably going to give you guys some of the greatest comic book stories of all time when we go through our list here. So if you're somebody that's looking for things to just write these down. And go check them out. A lot of them you can read online digital, or if you can't find them online, a lot of them can be found at your comic book shops. You can go and pick them up relatively easily for like reprints and things like that. So definitely do that. And I will say a lot of the storylines that I mentioned are in full trade paperback. So they're like, you can get them as like a full novelization. So, all right. So my first one is going to be, and I feel like I might take this from someone, but I hope not. It's a 2-issue storyline from 1973, and it is the death of Gwen Stacy from Jerry Conway and Gil Kane. And the reason why this one for me resonates so much is because this was kind of the beginning of darker storylines in comic books, because there are probably stories now that have a similar feeling to this, but for the longest time, stuff in comics did not have any lasting repercussions. And this was one of those stories where they actually took the opportunity to do something and then stick with it. Because you have Spider-Man's love interest, Gwen Stacy at that time, getting killed by Green Goblin. And this was a tragic story, and it was something that you didn't really see with lasting effects in comic books. So that is going to be my first option here, is the death of Gwen Stacy. Again, that's Amazing Spider-Man 121, 122 from 1973. All right, and with that being said, it's Jake's turn.
So that's actually kind of a nice segue, because my first one was also a Spider-Man run. This one started in 1993. This ran for 14 issues, had a number of different writers, spun across multiple different Spider-Man runs. Spun across Amazing Spider-Man, spun across Unlimited, even bled into Web of Spider-Man a little bit. Had a lot of different characters from Marvel crossover into it, and that is the Maximum Carnage story. Absolutely love that one. That was definitely one of the darkest Marvel stories that they had at the time.
Oh my God.
Where they had Spider-Man and Venom, teaming up against Carnage and Shriek. And like all these other different characters, made different levels of appearances in it, like Captain America, Black Cat, Iron Fist, Cloak and Dagger, Morbius, Deathlock, the list goes on. They even made a kick-ass video game out of it in 94. That game is so damn good. Play the Knights of the Carnage game on SNES if you haven't. It'll probably kick your ass, but play it. I just loved how vicious that made Carnage, because like around that same time you were getting the kind of evil but kind of goofy version of him in the cartoons, because they couldn't exactly go the full evil route with him in that one. But I love that story, and I have all 14 issues of it in paperback.
Okay. Well, with that being said, 3Dub, what is your first choice?
Mine is a very dark. I'm going with an evil version of Batman, and that is Red Death, his origin.
Oh.
All right.
Do you like the evil Batman stuff?
I kind of like the fed up version of Batman, and just the suit, like the horror.
This doesn't surprise me because you like Punisher, so I'm not really surprised that you like that a darker, more gritty Batman.
I like some things that are like not normal, so it intrigued me. He's from like Earth 52, and
right.
It just like the whole dark multiverse just intrigues me.
Okay, fair enough. Moving back over to Ronan, what is your second favorite?
My second favorite, man, this is hard because it's fucking tough. I it's one of the most recent stories, but there's a PI story from a distributor called Titan Comics and Hard Case Crime, and it's called Minky Woodcock, the Girl Who Electrified Tesla. Now,
I've heard of this.
It's a period piece book with a character. Minky Woodcock, she's part of an investigative firm. Her dad in this world was the inspiration for Sherlock Holmes, and like the title says, she bumps into Nikola Tesla, and it surrounds of what happened to him and what she was doing in that era in the 40s, if my memory is right. It is just gorgeous. It's a blast, and it's one of the things that, like, when I've had the privilege to talk to the creator Cynthia Von Bueller, and I'm like, I love your books so much because they're like nothing out on the stands. There's the Image books, there's Marvel and DC, and then there's her book, and it's one of a kind. She doesn't use she used the panels and splash pages here and there, but like she even adds historical facts into her books at the end of it. We're like, all right, from what I've written, this is where I've taken it. And she does like huge amount of information and says a lot of this stuff is factual. Now, whether what happened and what went down, I leave it up to you to interpret. People still think of like, did Tesla or Houdini, get killed, or was it an accident or not? Like, it leaves it out, and it's a great. Again, I love noir. I like detective stories. I love anything you have to do when you have to fight Nazis or the 40s eras, 50s, 60s. And it just I want people to know more about who Minky Woodcock is, and I want people to know who the creator Cynthia Von Bueller is. She's done now 3 books with the character, and they are all fantastic. This one's one of my favorites.
Okay, so this is really interesting because Jake, I thought you might take this one, but since you've already mentioned something from the Spider-Man era, maybe not. So I'm wondering if you did or you didn't. But I'm going to say it anyway because it's one of my favorites. And it's from 1993. And it's from David Michelini, and it's the Venom Lethal Protector run. And I like this one because it was Mark Bagley doing the art for the first 3 issues, then Ron Lim doing 4 through 6. And I think there was a few other people that were connected to like spinoff stuff from this or other stories connected to this. But this was the Venom's first solo series, and it positioned Venom as an anti-hero rather than a villain. It transformed Eddie Brock from a reactive foe into a proactive, morally complex character, which I really enjoyed. He moves from New York to San Francisco looking for a fresh start. He's drawn into conflicts with corporate greed, mercenary work, deals with San Francisco's underground criminal networks. And this introduces a lot of Venom's lore outside of Spider-Man, which I really enjoyed. So it's like a redefining moment for him. And I do believe, even though they didn't totally pull it off, I think this was a lot of the inspiration for the Venom films that they did.
It was a little bit. I remember kind of hating that when I first read it,
Mm.
but then I went back and read it again. I'm like, you know what? Okay, like I looked at it from a different perspective.
Yeah. I would have to say that I've read it a few times since it came out, and I think I've had different feelings about it each time I've gone back and read it because it's 6 issues, so it's a 6-issue read. But I actually enjoyed it quite a lot. Have a good night, Jay Bird. Sorry, I just saw that you were heading out, so have a good night. And that brings us to Jake for your next choice.
So my next one here, I had a feeling I was probably safe with this one. And this is my favorite story that we have ever gotten for this character. This was also in 1993, funnily enough. And this was done by Matt Hollingsworth and Mark Waid.
Oh, Mark
and
Waid.
that is The Return of Barry Allen.
Oh.
That is... And that specific arc, I guess if you want to call it, ran for about 5 or 6 issues, and that was the story that really cemented Wally West in his place as the Flash. That was after Barry disappeared in Crisis, where he was thought to be dead for the longest time, and Wally was the one that was kind of put into that suit, but was at first portrayed as a much slower speedster compared to Barry, who had to eat like 3 times the amount that a normal human does, while Barry never did. And sometimes he would find himself sleeping for like 18 hours in a row just to have energy to run at all. And these were all new developments that came about when he became the Flash, and were never there when he was Kid Flash. And he's kind of fumbling his way into the role until Barry Allen returns, and he starts to realize that Barry acts a little aggressive and out of character. Then it turns out that Barry is actually Eobard Thawne in disguise, and that kind of drives Wally to actually end up being the fastest man alive, where he runs faster than Barry ever did in order to stop Thawne, and really cements his place in the world of DC as the Flash, the true successor to Barry Allen. And if any of what I just said, sounds a little bit familiar, where somebody is pretending to be the Flash's mentor, but it is actually the Reverse Flash, they took a lot of Mark Waid's Flash run and used it as the basis for the Flash Season 1 story. So if any of that sounds familiar, that's probably why. But no, I absolutely loved that story. I mean, Wade's entire Flash run, I think, is still some of the best that has ever been done with that character. But that specific 5-issue arc in there, I always go back and look onto that fondly, especially with the things that happen with Wally afterward. Like that's a whole debate for another stream. But absolutely love that piece of DC history. So yeah, had to go with that.
Okay. Great choice. 3Dub, what is your next one?
Mine has basically an overall 4-part arc, and this one is also dark. I just like dark. I don't know why. This one is my number 2 is The Death of Superman. And
from the 90s.
It goes from Doomsday to Funeral for a Friend to Reign of Superman. It, like...
What are you laughing at?
Darren's comment. It's interesting you say that, 3D, because that was a very divisive storyline back in the day. I know people look back at it now and they go back with the different perspective and they enjoy it or whatever. But back then, it was one of the most controversial and heated storylines in media at that point.
That was a controversial time in DC because Superman died and Batman was beaten.
His back was broken, right? Yeah.
With the whole Bane thing.
Yeah.
Lou Simonson, I think, was doing this one, if I'm not mistaken, the storyline.
What was that?
Louis Simonson, I think, was part of this storyline.
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
Didn't Bane get his break Batman's back in Dark Knight Rises? That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sorry. Well, that's a good one, 3-Dub. I actually like some of the stuff that came out of the Death of Superman, so that's interesting.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like is that he came back where he lost his powers, and there were two of him, a red and
blue. Red and blue Superman.
And then one of them came out looking like Billy Ray Cyrus. I'm like, do we really need this?
All right, Ronan, what is your third choice here?
You know what? I did Marvel. I've done Titan Comics. I'm gonna give some DC love, and Jake's not gonna know where I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with Grant Morrison's Animal Man.
Oh,
the whole. I think it's 30 issues.
Wow.
I think also for the record, I think Only Wolverine's over 30 issues, and then the Mickey Woodcock book is like 4 issues, but you can find the collection. Grant Morrison's Animal Man. Weird, wacky. At that time, probably still C to damn near Z-list character. But Mr. Morrison did something so cool with the character, which he brought up his vegetarian stuff. He wanted to talk about, I think for me, what it comes with a superhero who has a family and has ends to meet, and what happens when you're not a billionaire philanthropist guy who can swing off rooftops the whole time,
right?
Or a guy who's as powerful as a locomotor but is a journalist on the side, and that takes care of the bills. Like, what I love about this run and this character is just an ordinary dude with extraordinary powers, and excuse my language, fucking bizarre situations thrown in. I mean, I've talked to Jake about this, but there's a scenario where he gets severely injured. I say that word severely. And the way he regenerates himself is in the most odd, creepy way possible. And I'm like, there's nothing like this that I've read. It gets meta, very, very mid to later in the storyline. And again, I think this is something I think James said he's a big Grant Morrison fan. So I feel like this is something that I hope we get to see later on in DCU. And there's a very wholesome moment towards the end. And again, this was during the time of the British invasion, not the music side, but the comic side, where Alan Moore, Neil Gaiman, Brian Bolland were coming over from England to the US to doing amazing stuff, primarily for DC. And I love the costume. One day I'm trying to plan to do my own Animal Man cosplay. And I can't rave about it. I remember I was so, when the bug bit me, no pun intended, to read Animal Man, I was messaging Jake and the guys. I'm like, I have the first 5 issues. And then when I read them, I was like, fuck this, I need to get the omnibus. And I have the omnibus in my shelf. And I just look at it. I'm like, what an achievement, man.
Yeah, I kept getting notifications. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm like, people should read this more now.
So Harrison was asking again about the joining the membership thing. As far as I know, for everyone, it's either join or subscribe plus that you have an option to do. You're saying that it's not giving you that option on mobile. So not totally sure what the situation is with that. You can try desktop though. When you're on your desktop, you can do it that way. It should work there. Emerald Jade says, is it possible to add a channel in the Discord about time zones and turning the clock back? I don't really know how I would do that as a channel. I could do an announcement about it. I could definitely
do it on your own YouTube account. Usually it sets it up that way. My time right now is 11:44 p.m., but I know it's later for y'all on the East Coast.
Yeah, it's almost 3 a.m. for me. So, okay, so let me move on to my next one. This is number 3, and this is a 2-issue story from 1981. Anybody freaking out yet? Am I?
I'm wondering, is it X-Men? Is it New Teen Titans?
It's X-Men for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's called Days of Future Past.
There it is.
All right.
There it is. I've simply not said an X-Men one because I was looking at the Jake, but then I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm trying to, because I read X-Men when I was really young, so I'm trying to go back to my era with it so that I don't take any of Jake's. I know Jake's are going to be a little bit later in the timeline usually.
Not as later as you think.
Well, we'll see. This is a storyline where they do a time travel tale. I mean, if it sounds familiar, there was a version of it in movies, which is one of the best X-Men movies, honestly. It's a dystopian future setting the stage for alternate timelines in comics. It explores themes of prejudice, fear, and hope. I want to point out it takes place in 2013 in the Marvel canon timeline. is an alternate version of that canon timeline in 2013. And the weird thing about this, I want to point this out because I don't know if anybody ever thought about this, but at that point in time in Marvel, no one really aged. Everybody kind of stayed the same age.
Yeah.
So the fact that in 2013 people actually got older was such a weird thing for me when I was reading it as a kid. I'm like, why are they older? Because I'm like, time doesn't work that way in comic books because everybody stays the same age. So as a kid, I'm reading this and I'm like, wait, they should be all the same age even in 2013, but that's not the case. It establishes the Sentinels as like the big threat. I mean, they've been around, but this storyline, you know, with Senator Kelly and stuff, it made it seem like they were just the biggest problem that we're going to have to face with mutants. Nimrod, that whole storyline, all of that is connected to this. And it's got a lot of iconic moments in it, like Wolverine's struggle with intervention, Kitty Pryde trying to be courageous, things like that. Storm and the rest of the team dealing with what the ramifications of these things are in their future. There's a lot of great things. And yes, the 2006 film X-Men The Last Stand leading into the 2014 film X-Men Days of Future Past cover some of these elements. So anyway, that's...
And the covers, man. The covers are just...
Oh, absolutely. The cover with Kitty Pryde and Wolverine and the wall of everybody's face on the stickers, everything, just incredible stuff. So that's my third one. With that being said, Jake, what is your third choice?
So I guess I'll go ahead and do this one now. I was planning on leaving it, but you know, I'll go ahead and do this one now. Since you did your X-Men entry, I'll go ahead and do mine. This is not as later as you might have been suggesting, a little bit later than Days of Future Past, mine. But if I say the decade, this is just going to give it away. So I'm just going to go ahead and lead with the creator. Right. This is essentially Jim Lee's X-Men run that started in like 1991. There it is. And you know, it's got the art that translated. It's got the art that translated onto the cartoon. It's got the way that I always think of the characters outside of any other form of media. Like if I think of X-Men and comic books, my mind immediately goes there. You know, it's got them as a team dynamic. Like they actually feel like a legitimate family, a team. Wolverine is not front and center. You know, Cyclops feels like the leader. The characters feel like you think that they do, just knowing who the X-Men are. And it's, I was about to say for its entire time, but technically it's still kind of going. And I just absolutely love that run. That's one that I'm trying to see if I can get like every decade continuous issue of it. It's a long process. It is. Yeah, it's a long process. I've got about 100 of those issues, and that's not even near enough. Yeah. But no, I absolutely love that run to bits. And as far as comic X-Men goes, a lot of my stuff, same thing with Ronan here, a lot of it kind of it boils down to that time period where it was those comics, that show, hell, even on my side, those video games on Super Nintendo. Yeah, that was where it was at for me. Sorry, Ronan, if you were if that was yours.
No. I have one that like I might even have to do as an honor mention, just because I'm trying to get on my side. Is just I want to tell books that people don't usually hear of when people say the top best comic book stories, and everybody's gonna say the Dark Knight Returns and all this stuff.
Yeah, I tried to avoid some of those.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I avoided things like Dark Knight Returns, Flashpoint. I avoided those things.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, 3Dub, what is your third choice?
This one is actually a fun little, I guess, comic book crossover in a sense. The title of the story arc is Father's Day, and it basically Spider-Girl decides to go after a criminal called Spiral, who apparently claims he's from another dimension. He escapes and accidentally sucks in Spider-Girl, and she travels to finally meet her dad in his prime, which is Spider-Man. And It's a fun. We get to see like Human Torch interacting with Spider-Girl. We get to see the Fantastic Five with Franklin Richards. So it's a fun comic book that it kind of like takes stuff from like the Spider-Verse, basically, kind of like in a small scale.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a funny interaction when she finally meets her dad, and the dad's like not trusting her.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so number 4, Ronan, are you there? Or are you AFK? I think Ronan might be AFK, so we'll circle back to him when he gets back. So we'll go to me, I guess. Oh no, there's Ronan.
There he is.
All right, it's okay.
All right, so
number 4.
I'm gonna go with a crossover one that I was like, "What? You could do this?" It sounds so naive and childish, but it was a few years back. It's written by Gail Simone, drawn by Aaron Lopresti, and it's Conan meets Wonder Woman.
Uh-huh. As soon as you said that combo, I knew what it was.
Yep.
And funny enough, I own at least 3 pages.
Wow.
Nice.
It is some of my most like, unless I'm dying, I will never sell this stuff ever.
That's a great one.
I'm telling you, y'all, like a lot of stuff is a little bit more modern, but when I was collecting it, man, that is the ecstasy I'm trying to find again with new books. It is me reading it every week, and then in a respective way, tweeting at both Aaron Lopresti and Gail Simone, be like, "How could you do this to me? Like, why would you?" There's a point where like a big reveal is like a plot twist is thrown, and I was like, "How dare you?" And both Mr. Lopresti and Miss Simone were kind enough to like respond. They're like, "Yeah, stick with it, kid," and whatnot. And yeah, it's great. It's a combo of like 2 of the most badass characters in fiction. Needless to say, Mr. Lopresti does some of his best work in this book, along with Death of Hawkman for me, and Gail Simone. I mean, one of the best writers, and not even just comic books, just fiction in general. I just love her writing style, and I think it's only 4 issues, and I'm eager for folks to go pick it up. Go pick it up as a trade paperback and just go read it. It is wholesome, and I'm hoping one day, as an Elseworld story, they can maybe do that.
Okay, that sounds good. The next one I'm going to pick is probably, out of everything on my list, maybe the most recent thing. And it's also maybe an obvious one, but I have to drop it because I think it's a really important story if people haven't read it. And that is Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely's All-Star Superman from 2005 to 2008. It's a 12-issue run. And the premise of it is so good. I mean, I think it's... I would have to look it up, but I think it got nominated for a ton of awards, and I think it won an Eisner, if I remember correctly, like an Eisner award. But it's 12 issues. Frank Quitely isn't always my favorite artist, but in this particular run, it's really well done because of the story itself. Like, he's not my go-to. I just think he's got a very unique stamp on his work. And, you know, I know some people are probably going to be turned away by that, but the storyline deals with, like, the morality of Superman because of getting... I don't want to spoil too much on it because I feel like it's such a good run. I want people to go read it. But the premise essentially, and I won't say how this happens, but Superman is dying. And that's the storyline. And we've got Lex Luthor in it. You got Bizarro in it. There's a lot of interesting characters in it. Obviously, Lois Lane, Olsen's in it. It's a lot of stuff there to really unpack. And I think it's probably, if not, and I'm not saying this lightly, if not the best Superman individual like contained story, one of the best individual Superman stories, because I think it allows you to focus on like the essence of Superman versus all the big stuff that Superman's known for doing over the years.
I would push back on it being the best individual one, but I mean, everybody has opinions.
Well, that's what I said. Like, if you don't classify it as the best, you definitely have to recognize that it is one of the best Superman stories.
Fair enough.
I think the artwork is going to be a tough sell for a lot of people because Frank Quitely's work is very unique, and I get it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll say this: his art for All-Star Superman was definitely better than his art for New X-Men.
I hated his art for X-Men. I hated that.
That was terrible. I liked the story there, but man, I hated the art.
Well, first of all, I don't want to dive too much into that, but I will say that I think the costume designs were the first thing where I was like, "Fuck this!"
Right,
and
because
it just
they
looked
look
bad
so
after that.
samey. It was like these guys don't contrast.
Yeah, but outside of that, I think his work with Superman was much better because the costume was bright and colorful and unique, and it wasn't like they were trying to.
James Gunn's movie even took a little bit of beats from All-Star Superman. So
yeah, absolutely. Harrison finally figured out how to do it. Thank you so much. You became a channel member. I do appreciate it. I'm not sure. Earlier it said someone became a channel member, but it's not showing up in StreamYard. Oh, you know what that probably was? Either somebody was resubscribing or they were upgrading their channel membership. That's what that was. That's why it's not showing up. Whoever that was, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. With that being said, number 4, Jake, what is on your list?
So, I'm kind of debating here. It's like, do I want to go with a more well-known one as my last one, or do I want to go with a complete wild card as my last one? And you know what? I'll go with the more well-known one now, and I'll save the complete wild card for last. So this is actually going to segue kind of nicely off yours because you brought up a Grant Morrison one, and I am also bringing up a Grant Morrison one.
Oh, okay.
And that is
X-Men?
No, I already did my X-Men. I could have done the whole thing of X-Men if I wanted to, but I didn't. I am going with his Batman and Robin Reborn run.
Oh.
Where you have Dick Grayson.
Who was the artist on that one?
Only as well? Or no?
Damn it. Who?
Is it?
That was actually, I think that was Frank Quietly, actually.
Really?
I think that was Frank.
They've done a lot of stuff together.
Yeah, they work on a lot of things together. So,
but I loved that dynamic you got in there where you had Dick Grayson as Batman and Damian Wayne as Robin, because it changed the whole dynamic of Batman and Robin. You went from having a grumpy Batman and a cheerful Robin to a cheerful Batman and a moody Robin, and the dynamic was hilarious. They were going after these really, at the time, weird kind of, like weird unknown villains. People like Pink Flamingo and Professor Pig, who was in the Arkham games.
Yeah.
They just had so many weird villains during that time. And Dick Grayson as Batman, Bruce was never somebody who would work well with the cops that much. I mean, with the exception of Gordon. But Dick Grayson, on the other hand, like as somebody who's been like a Bloodhaven cop, I don't know what Ronan's laughing at, but he would actually like smile for police cameras there and actually take pictures of himself and leave behind a form of evidence that he was there. And even though some people could tell that it was a different person behind the mask, I just loved the dynamic. Honestly, for a while after that, I was kind of turned off by the Batman books because, like, by having Bruce and Damian as the pair, it got kind of boring because you didn't have that lighthearted and darkness dynamic. It was like Bruce Wayne, grumpy. Bruce Wayne Jr., grumpier. It was like, it wasn't really entertaining. But when you had that contrast between the two of them, I absolutely loved it. That's still some of the best Batman comics I've read in a long time.
I wanted to pull this up quickly though. Columbia Rican here says, "I know the story is important, but art needs to match the writing." I know, like that's one of the things is when you're into comics, you have to vibe with all of it. So I get that that's not going to feel the same for everyone. That's why I say the writing. I think the writing of the story is definitely one of the best ones, but I do realize that Frank's artwork is not for everybody. I get it. Yeah.
So Ronan, I just have to ask, what were you laughing at? Because during that whole thing, you were laughing.
No. My family sometimes drives me nuts, and sometimes they just reach comedy gold. And I was watching some comedy gold, and I was just
Harrison says, and I see your super chat, Lone Wolf. We're going to read that when we're done. We're almost at the end here. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is one of my favorites. Part of the reason I'm hyped for the movie next year. Yeah, I didn't put it.
I'm in the middle of that right now.
Yeah. So I didn't put it on my list because I've already established it as one of my favorites. I felt like it was just not. I didn't feel like putting it on my list because of that.
Dalton, bringing up freaking Transformers. Made you respect.
Rebels,
yeah. They got some great comics.
Oh yeah.
3Dub, what is your fourth choice on the list?
My fourth choice is from It's kind of like the New 52, but it's on Marvel, so I'm not actually doing New 52. It's a one character. He has 135 issues. His his date of release is from 2000 to 2014, and that is the Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 1 through lot. I really like the storyline. I like the art. It drew me in when I was a kid, and that's basically why I'm putting it on my list.
Okay. That's fair enough. I feel like a lot of us have stuff like that's why I put that X-Men story on because of that reason.
They even made a good game off that one.
All right, so Ronan, what is your final choice?
So before I go with my final choice, I'm gonna get some honorable mentions just right off the bat. I'm gonna go with Grant Morrison and Amanda Connor's The Pro from Image Comics. That is a wild ass comic and story. Go read it and go see it. It is. I can't believe they did it. And what's another one? I'm gonna go with Hellboy in Mexico. That's Mike Mignola.
Yeah.
I just like when I heard that, I was like, get the fuck out of here, and I went and I rushed to like buy it on eBay. There's one from DC Vertigo right before they closed doors on that side of DC called Border Town that was coming out. It was the hot new comic, and then some controversy happened with one of the creators. It is like what if Stranger Things was dealing with the occult stuff, specifically with the Latin American occult stuff, and it was near where I live, very home to me. And the next honorable mention I'm going to say is X-Men: God Loves, Man Kills, and all I'm going to say is just go read it.
Save that one for you.
Don't look into it. Just go read it. You'll see some similarities with X-Men 2, but it is something that every fan of comic and art should go read. And my last choice, I'm gonna go with probably my favorite comic of all time. It's a book called Barrier by Image Comics. It's written by V. Brian K. Vaughan.
I remember that.
Marcos Martin, and it's run by it's colors by Munsa Vicente.
Okay, I haven't seen this one.
It is, dude, sci-fi on acid trip. It is like it's like a rival meets like a great indie movie.
Okay.
Like, it is so good.
I'm sold. You got me sold on that already. So
yeah, like again, two characters you meet that don't understand each other, and just go read it. It is phenomenal.
Okay, so for my last choice, I'm not going to do any honorable mentions. I'm going to save those in case we do another topic later on where I need them. So I'm going to keep those in my back pocket. But this one I wanted to go outside of Marvel and DC, and it is what I consider to be probably the greatest story about these characters in this world. And I would argue I've read a lot of them, with the exception of like some of the more like Archie comic stuff or whatever. But it is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin, which is a 5-issue miniseries.
Wait, Ronin is last? I thought he was first.
I'm not there yet. No,
it's a 5-issue miniseries by Kevin Eastman, and it takes place in a dystopian future. And one turtle has survived, and they're wielding. They're not welders. They're wielding all of the weapons of the other turtles. So you don't know who this turtle is. Now, I don't want to spoil who it is for anybody that might go out and read this, but it's not who you think it is. That's the best way I could put it. Like it's gonna be unexpected as you read the book and learn who it is. You're gonna be surprised by it. But this takes place in New York. New York is overrun by the Foot Clan. There's some new villains in there. It really is probably my favorite TMNT story as a standalone story, because you got to remember they've had large runs in comics. There's like so many runs of like issues and issues and issues and issues. But this one is a 5-issue miniseries. It came out about 4 or 5 years ago. I want to say 2020, 2021. I think maybe 2020. But go over and check it out. It is TMNT: The Last Ronin, and it's a great read. It's 5 issues. You don't have to spend a lot of time on it. It takes place in a future, so it's really kind of its own self-contained story. Yeah, so there we go. That's my last one, and that brings us to Jake with your final comic book storyline.
So, like Ronan, I'm just going to hit a couple honorable mentions out here because I don't know if we're going to do this one again, but I'm going to just throw a couple of these out. I have a Hellboy one in my honorable mentions also. And this is Hellboy, The Corpse in the Iron Shoes.
Oh,
yeah. Fucking love that one. It's such a unique premise where he has to find this family or help this family retrieve their stolen child from these mystical fairies, and it's a lot of supernatural. It's like a supernatural obstacle course, basically. But then they throw in a lot of folklore and stuff in there too, and that threw me off. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't expect this to mix that well with a character like Hellboy, but I got more and more immersed into that, and I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. So definitely give that a read. It's one of the best Hellboy stories. It was like, what, 2011, I think, somewhere around there is when it was published.
Okay.
It's not that many issues, so it's like 2 short stories put together, so definitely give that a read. And last honorable mention, this one ran for about a month. It's another DC one, and that is Robin War. And I got a lot out of that one personally because it kind of puts like 2 pairs of Robins. It pits them against each other, and it's when Tim has lost. I think it's Stephanie, and I think Connor is the other one that's lost. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. It's Stephanie and somebody. I can't exactly remember who's lost, but it really it kind of teaches everybody that life is this precious gift, and it still has one of my favorite exchanges between Dick and Tim, where he wants to bring Stephanie and again I think it's Connor back through. He wants to bring them back through the Lazarus pit. But it's also there's like his whole family that he wants to bring back, and Dick says, if you bring back one of them, then you'll want to bring back all of them, and you can't bring back all of them, so don't bring back one. And that hits hard. That really hit right there because like that. I'm not gonna lie. At that point in my life, it kind of hit home. And my last one that's on here that's not an honorable mention. This was the one that I said was a wild card that I had a feeling people were not going to know what this was at all. And this is not really a comic. It's more just like a full graphic novel. This is one made by a Japanese writer, Eiji Yoshikawa. This is called Vagabond. And I think Ronan's familiar with that because I just saw a big smile on his face.
I have a relative who's been telling me go read Vagabond, like go read it because they know I'm into the samurai stuff. I'm like, dude, I need to be in the right mood to get into that stuff. But like, yeah, it's on my list. Yeah,
give Vagabond a read because it gives you that perspective of somebody who is not really a man of tradition, kind of on their own plane of existence from the rest of the world, even though they're right there in the rest of the world. You can tell it's got, some inspirations from films like Yojimbo. That was a big push for me. I was like, oh, this is basically like Yojimbo in book form because I had seen that film when I was going through college. Then I read that book. I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly what I watched on a film, but I get pages and pages of this in a book. I want to see if I can track down an actual copy of it because I read it or I borrowed it from my public library years ago, and I feel old saying that because people don't do that anymore. But I remember I renewed that graphic novel from my library at least 3 times. Like I rented it out as much as they would let me. And I was just immersed because I love samurai stuff and that whole side of Japanese culture. So yeah, definitely give that a read.
I hope the chat's been taking notes. There's been a lot of really good things talked about on the stream. And now we come to 3W, 3Dub, 3W Creative Crusader in the house. What is your final choice?
So I'm going to start with my honorable mentions so I can get them out of the way. This one happened after the series concluded, so it's like a tie-in to the series in a way. And that is Avatar: The Last Airbender. I like the comic version of it. It continued the story. It, filled all the gaps. I thought you were going to say Ben 10. I thought you were going to say Ben 10. No. I'm not going to give Darren the satisfaction. My second honorable mention is Avengers versus X-Men.
Okay.
I love that overall
That's
I
not bad.
love
That's
that.
a good one, actually. So,
And this one is also going to be a little like Jake, which is a manga, which it's my first and only manga that I actually read all the way through. And it turned into a graphic novel, which I like. I've like read it like 17 times. So
oh my god,
it has an interesting story. Even the TV show doesn't give it like fully justice, but the anime doesn't give it fully justice, but it does tackle like the main plot. So, and that is solo leveling.
oh,
Okay,
Yeah,
that one's
yeah,
blowing
yeah.
up now in anime.
yeah. So, all right, great list from everybody. So, hope you guys again took your notes. Let's go through and see. We got one super chat and a few
Should ask them
comments
to rate
here.
our lists.
Yeah, okay, guys, rank our list. If you're paying attention, rank our list 1 to 4. 1 being the best, 4 being the least best. I'm not going to say worse because I don't want to. Right, so but we do have a super chat here from Lone Wolf, $5 super chat. X-Men Fatal Attraction, great one. House of M, another great one.
That.
Planet Hulk, Year One, the night Gwen Stacy died, Age of Apocalypse. Those are all fantastic ones.
If that one's Batman Year One, I'm gonna say that SWAT scene.
Planet Hulk was another one where they made a fantastic movie out of it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, the animated movie.
It's
My-
so damn good.
My top 5 comic storylines: Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, Private Eye, X-Men From the Ashes, Reign of Superman. Yeah, that's a good one. The Long Halloween, that was on my honorable mention, but I didn't drop it because I wanted to hold on to
I
it.
love Long Halloween.
Amazing Spider-Man by
I-
Leah and Romita.
I don't like Reign of the Superman.
Lone Wolf says honorable mention on my list is Blackest Night. That's another good one too.
Ooh,
That's a good
little
one.
man.
I saw Reign of the Superman. I'm like, oh no.
We got top 5 from Cameron here: Green Lantern, War Journal, The Death of Superman, Absolute Power, The Joker War, and Batman Hush. Hush was another one I was thinking about putting
Hush
on my
was a
list
good
as well.
one.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Dalton says Court of Owls, Superior
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Fuck, I forgot about Superior Spider-Man. That's one of my favorite Spider-Man runs. I love what they did with that. Just the crazy situation that was happening in that fucking run. Transformers Dying of the Light, Transformers the Falling, and Invincible, the Viltrumite War. Yeah, Viltrumite War.
I didn't choose Invincible yet because I haven't finished it yet. I'm trying to like map it out with the show beforehand. So, but once I finish it, that's gonna make my list as well.
Star Wars comic runs, The Vader and Bounty Hunters. Marvel runs Dr. Alpha. And then honorable mention is Transformers Dark Cybertron. So
Oh, Spark.
there we go. Did any of the movies take anything from the comic runs at all, or no?
I
You
doubt
know?
it.
Yeah.
So, no, not really.
Fetman says TMT at Last Ronin. I'm right there with you. Green Arrow Year One. What about Longbow Hunters? Deadly
I
Class.
was thinking about either Year One or Longbow Hunters, but I was like,
Daredevil, The Man Without Fear. I was actually going to pick Daredevil Rebirth.
Deadly
I-
Class. Oh,
I have Man Without Fear. I think the first issue where he's dodging Bullseye at that circus.
Yeah.
I have a paperback copy of that one.
Dark Avengers is good too, as well.
is the Kevin Smith Green Arrow run pretty good? I want to read that.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like his runs and stuff. Like I want to also
that's-
finish
that's-
his Green Hornet run.
It's Quiver, right?
Yes, Quiver.
Yeah, Quiver. I have that whole set. Great
He
read.
introduces onomatopoeia, and I've
Yep.
always loved that concept design, which they
Yeah.
use in Cape Crusader, and I was like, oh shit.
Yep. And they did it in another show that I won't ruin for you.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome.
I won't say it, but
Okay.
yeah.
Anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. We had Omega and Darren who were here with us earlier. Both of them had to step out, but thank both of them for joining. Of course, Ronan for being here. I'm going to trying to get onto your show one Friday night as soon as I can. I work a lot of Fridays, so you just have to keep like hitting me up, and eventually I'll make it on there.
Peacemaker, I want to hear your thoughts on it, especially when you guys catch up to where I'm at. I'll leave it at that.
Also, thank you, Jake, for being here. Your Lost Levels on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep.
Check that out. I just noticed you put the time and everything in your. As I'm reading it, it made me like giggle a little bit seeing that. But anyway, so we got that, and then 3Dub Creative Crusader over here if you want to hit up any sort of editing stuff. Darren coming through with the little peace signs. Thank you so much, Darren, for hanging out. With that being said, that's the end of the stream. We went to almost 4 fucking
We almost went the
hours.
Snyder cut.
Almost 4
Good
hours.
team,
That's
though.
crazy. There's
Last-
so much to talk about, but I it's a day late for me, so I guess some of the stuff would have carried over till Thursday anyway, but it's fine. Yeah, Cameron, you can put any kind of suggestions you want on the Discord. Just leave it into the Nerdcast thing. By the way, anybody who wants to get a link to the Discord, it's in the top of both the chats. So click on the link and come over and join us. With that being said, we're out of here. Have a good night, everyone, and I'll see everybody on Thursday. Take care.